Hello everybody and welcome to HighRollers. This is the Dungeons & Dragons campaign stream we run every Sunday here on the Yogscast Twitch. We've got our first special guest this week and getting stuff going on. We're getting back on track with the story campaign, so this is going to be a regular story episode, so it's all canon and all that good stuff.
Oh, God.
I'm just fixing my miniatures behind the screen. I am Mark Sherlock Humes, your Dungeon Master as always, and joining me this week we have Kim.
Hi, I'm falling off the chair.
You're falling off the chair. It's a regular problem for Kim. We have Katie.
Hello.
And we have our first special guest in our kind of upcoming rotation of guests, Mr. Tom Hazel.
Hello.
Who is a video editor and has done some... look at this guy. Who has done some streams with us before. You've done some Jiggle Jam streams with us.
I did some board game stuff with
you. Did some board games and stuff with you.
Mentions of Madness.
The Luncher Boys as well, of Luncher Boys fame.
That famous group.
And Civilization as well, me and you. The Civ...
Allies.
I guess, like, we kind of have this unspoken truce of if we're in the same game, we don't mess with each other.
Opposite side of the map always, so we never do it.
It's hard enough as it is. So you might be familiar with Tom, but he does video editing for a bunch of different channels. You do like Sips and
Civ, Double Dragon, help out a load of people. I also sit next to Matt, so I've sort of absorbed some of his Dungeons and Dragons. I might. Yeah, we'll see. You've got
a really cool character. I think it's going to be very exciting.
Okay.
We've got a couple of announcements that we're going to do first. The big one is, would you like to win this very table that we're playing on right now with all the crisps that Kim has spilt down the side?
And the game pieces that Chris Trott has got.
Exactly. You might find some of my Guild Ball tokens in here.
You might,
it's got a bit of lovely alcohol stain from Tom spitting up drink on it. It's lovely, and you should try and win it.
Smells great.
Because the guys at Geek and Sun are giving us a brand new table. So this one is actually going to be raffled away. You can go to geekandsun.com/Yogscast table giveaway, all one word. And it's a raffle page. You can buy tickets. It's £3 for one ticket or £5 for 10. It's open to the UK, USA, Canada, and Europe as well. So pretty much anybody can get in on this, apart from Aussies, obviously, and anybody who's not in one of those 4 places I mentioned.
So pretty much everyone can get involved except
all
everyone.
South
America, Asia.
It's fine. But you could win this cool table. It will be cleaned and looked after, I'm certain. It's got LED lights. It's got loads of cool features. It is pretty top. Katie, do you want to do that good old Insomnia 60 plug?
Insomnia! Come to Insomnia! We'll all be there. Well, you're not going to be there. Most of us will be here. Us three will be here. Chris is going to be there with Hat Films.
Nobody knows Chris by his first name.
Trot.
Fine. We're going to be there. It's a 4-day event, so it's from the 14th till the 17th of April at the Birmingham NEC. There are also tickets to evening entertainment. Pub quiz is sold out, but there is still tickets for Zelda, the Symphony of the Goddesses, and
I'm really good at that.
and the music. So people like Chase the Status, Years and Years, you can come and see them. So grab tickets to Insomnia. There's also a Yogscast discount code. So if you want 10% off day tickets, you can use the code I60Yogscast with all in capital letters. Come to Insomnia. I'll be working. You'll just see me running about.
The other thing I should probably mention, just as a bit of a self-plug, so I did a show with the guys at Geek and Sundry for their new Alpha program. It's called Roundtable. Shut up. It's called Roundtable. It's me and a bunch of other GMs kind of having these interesting talks about storytelling. The first episode premieres today. Ooh. I think in US times. It might be out already, I think. But you can go to Alpha and there's a 30-day free trial before you have to pay for subscription and stuff. First episode is with me, Matthew Mercer from Critical Role, and Adam Coble, Skinny Ghost from Roleplay. And it was really fun to make, so please do check that out. The guys treated me very well, and I'd be sad if I didn't give them a little plug.
Treated you very well.
They did treat me very well. They did. They looked after me. Oh, okay. They were nice. That was
you
sincere.
had a wonderful time.
I had a lovely time. I got to hang out at the Geek and Sundry offices. I was like...
Nice to know they didn't torture you.
This is the kind of sass you can expect from Mr. Tom Hazel.
Get ready.
He's sitting in the right chair for it as well. So, shall we do a little recap for you guys? Just on what happened last week. So, last time we adventured, you guys had returned to Talos Val upon hearing that Korak wanted to speak with Trelemar. After you arrived, you met with Korak in a tavern called the Dusty Road, where it was revealed to Trelemar that a drow house had come to the city, petitioning to basically bring him back for trial as a murderer. This house called House Relieve had come from Aramount, which is a kind of prosperous... It used to be mainly dwarves, but now it's dwarves and drow. It's a mining area, and it supplied a lot to the city. To keep relations good between Aramount and Talis Val, the council had actually agreed that if Trelemar was indeed a murderer, he would be taken back to his homeland. Korak, sensing that something was up after being visited by a drow woman by the name of Zolari, broke away and met with Trelemar and you guys and explained the situation. And it was revealed that this House Relieve may be working with the Dalkir, these kind of monsters that have plagued Trelemar's home, the Underdark, and the drow houses. You kind of did some investigations. You fought some guys that had been waiting for you outside the tavern. You learned that something was amiss. They were definitely like mutated or something was wrong with them. And then when you went to find this house representative and fight them, it was revealed that it was actually a mind flayer and a lithid, a creature that devours brains.
I just got
and
a text
uses...
from Chris Trott saying I'm in chat ruining your stream.
Cool, thanks Chris Trott.
Thanks, Chris Trott.
Can Jane ban him, actually, or time him out at least?
I think a ban.
I think just an outright ban. Steve's just like, I could do that. So you guys fought this creature, defeated it, and it was revealed that basically Trelemar would have to return to the Underdark to help his house and to help basically stop this kind of invasion force of these Dalkir, which were attempting to take the surface. It was very sad, but after a generous goodbye in which he did a particularly kind gift for Juto, helping basically conjure up and return her memories of her parents, he made his departure. You guys were left taking a long rest in Champion's Hold. You are woken the next morning. You've all had a long rest, you gain your spells back. There is a note left by Cam, which simply says in really bad childish handwriting, got
like
stuff
his
to
real life
do, be back soon, we'll catch up. And it's just left for you, basically.
Fab.
Convenient.
Bye then.
Yeah, and you guys are... It's kind of... You have a slow morning. The sun is beginning to rise. If there's anything in particular you wanted to do, now would be the chance to do it.
Did Korak say he went back to Champion's Hold?
And he took Lady
before?
Amaryllis with him as well.
We should probably find Lady Amaryllis and make sure that she's okay, because we kind of just left her with the new person.
But then we did leave her with Korak, who's like the champion of Talis Val.
Yeah,
and,
he was
and
a
a
little
Dragonborn
he was a little
who revere dragons immensely.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody was the right person to leave Lady
We
Amaryllis
don't know
with...
what's going on in Champion's Hold.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the council are being odd with Korak, remember? We don't
Yes.
know, so we should
He,
probably check it
he
out.
mentioned that they basically lost some trust or faith in him, and they were trying to handle things on their own, but things in Talis Val have been pretty bad. And as you guys were coming back to Champion's Hold, you saw more evidence of that. You saw kind of large angry groups of civilians. You saw kind of a lot more militia presence, a lot more guard presence, just trying to keep the peace. And it does appear that for most people there is a sort of not enforced curfew where it is encouraged that people do not roam around at night. It is not currently like a proper hard military curfew, but there is definitely a stronger guard presence, and people are encouraged to move along, go home, don't linger, don't loiter, kind of thing. If you guys get up and start making your way around Champion's Hold, you notice that the place is in a kind of busy state. There are lots of people rushing around, messengers, couriers trying to deliver messages. There is a lot of guild representatives here as well that represent all of the different guilds within the city, all different people all working together, lots of meetings happening that are more about things like import costs and where are we going to get grain from and all this kind of stuff, like all these kind of conversations going on. You managed to kind of work your way around. You head up to Korak offices. He's not there, but you do see his secretary, who's this young human girl who's just kind of short bobbed hair, wearing a simple outfit, sees you and is like, "Oh, Lady Alora, Miss Juto, a moment, please. Korak and the council were looking for you. They need to talk with you immediately in the council chambers, if that's all right. They were looking to... Is Cam Buckland with you?"
No.
Good. That's really good. Okay, Korak was a bit worried about that, so I'm glad. If you wouldn't mind just following us...
do you know what it's about, if they didn't want camera?
It's a bit of an...
It could be about anything.
Anything important?
It is
Just
a
anything.
delicate matter that they wish to discuss with you regarding some trouble we've recently had at another town.
Oh, okay.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind, just come with me.
Yeah, of course.
And she leads you back through Champion's Hold, going down the various large stone staircases, and takes you through. And you've been in this room before. It's a large circular room with a large round table, wooden, beautifully decorated table with seats for each of the council members, and then a large kind of not throne, but much more sort of elaborate looking chair for the champion. You guys are led inside. There is a waiting room. You can see that there's a number of guards, and as you step inside, you can see that a couple members of the council. One you recognise as Giles Woodcroft, who kind of leads up the carpentry guilds, the champion, as well as Dermot, and a man that you've never seen before. Tom, do you want to describe what you look like?
Yeah, I'm a very triangular man. Very
Steve,
top
can we throw
heavy.
up his character art in the other window, actually, just for the audience?
Very, very top heavy, muscular arm, a very, very broad chin. There he is. Oh, Nina, what a great drawing.
Camera's in the way for me.
Oh, is it?
Over this way.
I'll show you.
Oh
I'll
my
show you on the break.
God!
Very Gaston-like
He
kind
is
of
very
physique.
Gaston. He's got just the broadest, cleanest teeth of grin you've ever seen.
Bright, shining white teeth.
Massive.
Yeah, sparkle coming out. Can you add the sparkle there, Steve?
Are you like a Disney prince or something?
Steve's just looking at you like,
The look
you
Steve
can't make those
gave
demands
you,
of me yet, Tom.
Okay,
Not
he's
earned
got
your
a
place.
large flowing cloak, a tool belt around his waist with various trinkets and odds and ends.
Ruffled shirt. He looks very noble. He looks very rich.
It's like a bumblebee.
He does have a slight bumblebee coloration scheme going
Yeah.
on.
Well,
You've basically been here for a little bit. You've been waiting, the council have instructed you that they're waiting for other people to join the
I'm
conversation.
extremely impatient.
Yeah,
I'm just sort of sat there, just head in hands, just tapping, just waiting for these people to turn up.
Okay, so you've been waiting. You've probably been waiting about 15 minutes at this point.
Exactly.
So you are
15 minutes.
thoroughly impatient. You've had drinks and food brought for you, and things like that. Giles and Korak kind of turn to you, and Korak is like, excellent, yes, hello. Please come in, please. Take a seat if you would. There's something that Lord Woodcroft wishes to speak with you, Master Woodcroft. And Korak just kind of eyes up this stranger and then kind of casts a glance to you two, and then kind of just nods his head and sort of sits down, kind of resting his arms, tucking them slightly under his chin. Giles is an older looking gentleman. He has a grey moustache, slick back grey hair. He wears kind of very utilitarian kind of outfit. He turns to you, he's like, yes, I apologise for this rather urgent meeting. The council and Talisvala are somewhat in need of your assistance once again. Is the Buckland fellow with you?
No.
Good.
Okay.
The champion and I have just been discussing. There's somewhat of a delicate matter. Whilst you were away in the north,
He's added the sparkle.
whilst you were away in the north on a mission for Lady Galanadel, we received word from a town to the northwest called Voban. It is primarily a settlement of hill dwarves who have moved out of Aramount and out of the Grasping Peaks. A very rich valley full of resources with good fields. They have been excellent parts of the Republic, dutiful, stoic. A number of their scouts even keep an eye on the ruins of First Light for us. A week or so, perhaps maybe a week and a few days ago, we received word that the settlement had been sighting beasts, creatures, large birds of prey, griffins, this sort of thing. We then heard that these beasts had begun attacking the settlements, outlying farms, abducting a few dwarves. At first we thought it was a simply hungry pack on the prowl. So we dispatched a small force, a number of Dermot's best guards and pathfinders and rangers and that sort of thing. We sent them to Veldeban, and we have not heard from them since. The city's forces are stretched somewhat thin with this. Well, you are aware of the group we are currently dealing with, and the troubles within the city. And it is difficult to justify to the other council members sending any more troops. Now, the two of you and, dare I say it, Mr. Buckland, have my full confidence. It is a shame that Korak has informed me that Mr. Alith has decided to return to the Underdark with the house that came to take him to trial. I am to understand that he has made his way back there to stand for his crimes. Obviously, Mr. Alith did a great service for the city, but if he is a criminal where he's from, I'm afraid that is, well, there's not much we can do. I should introduce you. This is Reynard Ferrahorn, a specialist in tracking down beasts and creatures. He has come highly recommended by several members of the city. An accomplished hunter from a good stock of family of well-regarded merchants and nobility. Mr. Ferrahorn, I introduce Lady Elora Galanadel of the Elves, and Miss Juto, a tiefling traveller who has helped us in many adventures.
Yes, greetings, Juto, greetings, Elora. Of course you have heard of me, Reynard Ferrahorn, hunter, ranger extraordinaire, leader of the League of Adventurers here in Talisval.
The League of Adventurers.
The League of Adventurers, of course. For I am a revered hunter across this town. Needless to say, you have heard my name from the mouths of babes and, of course, the screams of women.
I have never heard of you.
Well, of course, that may be a problem for slightly lower intellect people such as yourselves, but of course...
I beg your pardon.
Korak just you see this mighty gold and red dragonborn, kind of the scales shimmering between the two colours, wearing thick plate mail hide. Just, you've never seen a dragonborn stifle a laugh before, but in this you just hear a... Miss, I should interrupt for a moment here. Mr. Ferrahorn has come recommended to the council, who have agreed to pay a fee in exchange for his assistance. But Giles and I wish to send some folks that we know have accomplished deeds for the city already, just to assist in the matter, and that is where I wish to send you. Cam, of course, will also be requested, but I believe he has some business elsewhere in the city. I will make sure we send word of how to find you and where you're headed. Giles, could you give us a moment, actually, please? There's some facts I must just discuss with the group. Giles kind of looks around. He's like, very well, champion. I'll see you momentarily. If you have any more questions about what is required, come speak with me. I'll just be in my offices. And he gets up and makes his way out. And as the door shuts, Korak kind of looks around. He's just like, Mr. Reynard Ferrahorn. I must admit, a number of my military officers have spoken quite highly of you. They say that you killed a chimera near Redcrop.
Not just any chimera. Oh, it was a fearsome beast and a fearsome battle, but short work of me, Reynard Ferrahorn.
Yes. Well, he is an accomplished hunter, nonetheless. So you are aware. And Korak kind of says this quietly to the side of you. It's just like, I have taken care of the matters regarding Mr. Alith. The council is aware of his return to his homeland, and that he will be standing trial. And he kind of gives you a knowing sort of wink and a gun, if in any sense of the word, but not an actual physical wink and a gun. But it's kind of a knowing sort of nod of the head. Now, Mr. Reynard's payment has already been agreed with the council. For yourselves, the council have agreed to dispatch a number of scouts to the Elven Spire in the north, in exchange for services in helping the city with this current matter. I have also made an argument to provide you, rather than having you stay here in Champion's Hold in some suite, to give you your own guild hall here within the city as well. It is not an actual business to run, it is more of a manor house in speaking, but it will also provide you with the title of Associate Guildmaster here on the council. I would be very grateful to have some allies whom I trust that will have some political sway. Whether you wish to take up upon yourselves is up to you. No doubt Cam will like the position, so I would...
He's still talking about getting uniforms, by the way.
Yes, I
He still
am
wants
aware.
uniforms.
Insufferable.
I have some information on Velderban, but you'll probably be best speaking with Giles in his office. He will have more information on the matters. All I know is that we sent a group out there to try and investigate what was happening, and they have not contacted us since in several days. Well, they did have messenger birds, and they also had a young magician with them who is capable of sending magical messages as well. Neither have reported to us. Voban is several days' travel away. I'm sure we can provide maps if you require it. But the city and I will be very grateful for your assistance in this.
Do you suspect that the Broken Sky are involved? They used griffins before.
He glances at Reynard. He's just like, yes, Mr. Reynard, you may be aware there have been some troubles recently within the city. There are rumors going around the town about a group calling themselves the Broken Sky.
Of course I have seen such troubles, but again, you need any help with those, I'll make much short work of them as I did the Chimera, the Griffin, any troubles.
Yes, well, you should be aware that they may be involved in this incident at Voban. They are troublemakers, criminals. They are very deadly. Myself and these two have encountered them before, and they are competent, if nothing else. Be aware. Yes, in answer to your question, I do believe them to be involved. However, it is difficult to prove without any evidence.
Any word about any of the known members being involved that we have encountered in the past?
None that we are aware of.
So
Voban is quite separated from the Republic. It's in a remote region north of First Light, making it somewhat tricky to access. But we are not, as far as we're aware, none of those outstanding criminals. The half-elven woman that you encountered, the elven woman you encountered, rather, Franco has not been located yet. We still have one of their members in custody, but he is seemingly gone magically mute and is unable to speak.
How convenient.
Yes, I suspect that the giant sorcery is at play. If you do have any questions, come and speak with me if you must. I have put your friend, Lady Amaryllis. She's been speaking with the priesthood of Bahamut here. It seems that she has quite a lot to teach them. The old clerics are quite perplexed at her nature. Her true nature has been kept a secret, but her knowledge of Bahamut is so much that they don't seem to have noticed. She's quite the powerful healer. She's done already some great work here in the city in the short time that she's had. So, if you require anything else, please come and speak with me. Lord Ferahorn.
Of course.
Your payments shall be delivered upon completion of the task. I will be entrusting Lady Galanadel's safety and to you and Miss Juto here. She is a royal member of the Elven Council, so please ensure that she is well looked after.
Well, you have no fear, for within me you have the strength of 20 men and 40 horses,
Yes,
I think.
Wow.
quite.
So though your group may be small and frankly quite pitiful, you have no worries, for I shall see you to safety, as I am, after all, Reynard Ferahorn.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just glaring. Like,
I'm just
absolutely
I might just
glaring.
hold Juto back a
Just
little
like
bit.
a,
because
just a little
Alora's
hand
just
on the
like,
arm.
Whatever you may need, I shall deliver.
Yes. Very well. If you require anything, let the officers know. Yes. Right.
Yes. No, just...
Has he seen my core in action figure?
Let me make a perception check for him.
It's on my belt.
Do you just have it strapped to your belt at all
It's just
times?
on my belt, yeah.
So, Reynard, give me a perception check as well. So you can roll a d20, and then
D20.
you add your perception skill bonus, which is on your list of skills.
Okay, that's perception, wisdom.
So it's look on the actual.
On the
Oh yeah, Katie, do you want to help actually? Because if you've got anything that you're proficient in, you add your proficiency bonus as well,
Perception. So...
Okay, so plus
So-
4 for...
Yeah.
and then plus your wisdom as well. You might want to work those out so you can actually add them in. I should have done that with you. Sorry, my fault.
That's cool.
So
So I
it's
rolled a
plus
9,
6.
I got plus 2 from my wisdom,
and
plus
then
4 from my proficiency.
So plus 6 in total, so it's 15.
Yeah.
And yeah, what you might want to do is just quickly go through those skills. Anything where you've got the dot filled in, you
Yep.
add your proficiency bonus as well as your irrelevant ability score
Oh, I see.
modifier.
So it tells you what...
Yeah, so it tells you what they
abilities
are. Reynard, you see that as you're kind of stood there, Korak kind of glances down, looks at it, kind of looks up, doesn't really know what to say. Reynard, you notice Juto, kind of, to your eyes, tieflings, it's very difficult to tell how old they are because they have like discolored skin, these horns, but she does look quite young, maybe sort of like late teens, very early young adult. But she clearly has an action figure, like a carved wooden action figure of Korak, the champion of Talisval, like stood, like now that you can see them stood side by side, you can see that she does clearly have this toy of the very man she stood next to.
Okay.
Korak just looks down, and looks at you, looks down, looks at you. That is a very. Where did you get that?
Elora gave it to me.
There was a fair in town.
Oh, of course.
I've got another one. Do you want it? It's quite strange, really.
No. I'm all right.
Juto really loves it, though.
I'm just kind of like blushing, like
Just like look down. Korak kind of just like, well, I'm very.
She got a wrestling belt too.
I see.
I'm the best in the world.
That's very good. I imagine this must have been during the feast, the summer festival. Yes. Ah, well, very good.
It's interesting. You didn't know there was. They are doing one of the prizes is an action figure of you.
I am aware of that there are some children and people who enjoy the legend that has been created around me. But
There's a horse you can put it on.
really? I've never ridden a horse. I've always just travelled by land. How strange. Yes, well, perhaps you should speak with Giles.
Yes,
I have some paperwork to do, and he kind of like shuffles some papers on the desk, like trying to basically make an excuse of finding this very awkward out of a conversation.
Just kind of like toeing my foot, like, how do I tell him that he's super awesome and inspirational to me, but like, yeah.
Not now. Let's go. Thank
Good
you.
luck,
Thank
yes.
you for your time.
Well, go with yes,
And please let me know if any word comes back from the Winter Spire.
of course, immediately.
I just do an awkward bow on the way out.
He bows his head.
I do a full
Like,
arm extended
swish.
bow, and then just swish my cape behind me as I leave.
Okay, as you guys leave, a number of the guards close the doors behind you, and you guys are currently stood in kind of the waiting room, this kind of plush, velvet-seated, dark wood kind of waiting room outside the council chambers. Stone stairs lead out into the corridors and down into like the main part of Champion's Hold, basically. You guys have been here enough times that you know your way around, you know where to find the various council members. You have not got a clue where you are. This is like, you're trying to kind of give off this kind of air of like, yes, I know where I'm going, but...
I'm walking in front of the group and I'm sort of leading certain directions and they'll go opposite directions.
And then
I'll
you'll
obviously
start.
just, of course. Just testing you.
Where would you guys like to go? Do you want to go and find Giles, or do you have your own stuff you want to do?
I want to kill this guy.
No, I want to go find Giles.
Yeah, you find him sat in a small office. He has a large window that faces out onto parts of one of the districts, one of the richer-looking districts. Large kind of window behind him, large desk. He has a lot of very beautiful art sculpture, like wood carvings here. You can see like delicate murals. His desk is incredibly elaborate, very well stained, coloured, like beautiful kind of like carved legs into the shape of dragons. Very, very plush-looking desk. He gestures you in. He's just like, yes, please come in. Hopefully your business with the champion was all well.
Yes, everything's fine. Just wanted some more details, if you had them, about what exactly is needed from us.
Yes, of course. We are mainly looking for a group to discover what happened to the party, the scouts that we sent towards Veldaban. Mm-hmm. They were Talisval scouts of the 5th Regiment, to discover what their fate was, to investigate Veldaban itself, and to ensure that they are, well, as serviced as need be, to make sure that these attacks, if they have not stopped, stop, and to locate the source of whatever is causing them problems, and to resolve that. We mainly worked with a fellow called Ithane, not so much a leader, but more of a local spokesperson. Veldaban, being a dwarven community, was very communally run. There was no formal leadership in the town. We believe Ithane to be a wizard, a dwarven wizard. One thing I can tell you is in the last report we did receive from the town, they gave us several detailed reports. We know that they have encountered griffins and giant eagles, but they spoke of something which I have kept from the other council members, something which is quite distressing. There's a report from Ithane. He speaks of a bird so large that its wingspan covered the entire town in shadow. to do so would make it enormous, the size of the town itself at least. Would the three of you, any of you can give me a history or a nature check?
Okay, I'm proficient.
So yeah, if you're proficient, you add the ability score modifier and your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so I got a 19.
19, perfect.
18.
18, and Juto.
No.
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 I mean, Juto, you've led quite a cloistered life. You've not really heard stories of creatures. Elora and Reynard, though, the way that, as Giles is describing this creature, especially the note of its size and its wingspan, you have a feeling this may be a creature known as a roke. It's kind of one of those creatures that's spoken of in legend, but there is historical evidence and empirical evidence to suggest it does exist. But one has certainly never been seen, probably since before the comet first appeared. It's been a very long time. They're kind of spoken of in ancient history. They are enormous birds, and when I say enormous, I'm not exaggerating. These things are the sizes of towns. They are like castles in the sky. Reynard, you have heard stories, probably from your uncle actually, who would tell you kind of about mythical and legendary beasts. Yeah. It's said that during the ancient War of the Claw between the dragons and the demons, the dragons actually partnered up with their rivals, the giants, and the giants would fly, they would ride these rokes, these are giants riding these creatures, and would ride them into battle.
Oh my god.
Giants.
So,
and Giles basically says, Ithane reports seeing this creature nesting in the mountains nearby, but it did fly with the griffins and eagles that attacked the town itself.
interesting.
And I'm afraid that is all the information we have. If Korek has not mentioned it, we are willing to send a number of our forces to the Winterspire to aid in the search for your father. But also there is a manor house, a guild house, I should say, here in the town. And with it comes not only the title of Associate Guildmaster, which would provide you with a seat on the council, but also the monthly stipend of gold. A monthly stipend of 1,000 gold.
He did not mention that.
Payable each month. Of course, one of you, if you wish to take on the title, would be required to attend meetings and represent the council in your interest in the city as well. So we would be looking for someone of good character. And he looks around, reminding himself that Cam's not there. And yes, Mr. Reynard here think of him as a representative of the Council of Talisval. He has been hired to not only assist you in the matters of tracking down these creatures, but in putting a stop to whatever is plaguing Veldeban and finding the missing scouts. You are aware of your contract, Mr.
I'm aware of
Farahon?
my contract and very happy with it, of course.
Of course, excellent. As mentioned, the Council will be more than happy in helping fund your guild and creating its... Again, if it is to be successful, you will be given a position here on the council as well.
Of course, I have many followers as it is, tracking my
certain.
every movement, telling tales of my heroic deeds.
Can I roll, what would it be, insight?
It would be insight, yes.
18. I want to know how much bullshit is being spouted right now.
What I will say is he certainly believes it. The way his mannerisms, this isn't somebody just outright lying. This is somebody who genuinely either believes that he is super important or has followers or he actually does have this stuff. You get the sense that there is an air of pomp, obviously, like that you don't need to look into his character too much to realise that he is very full of himself. But it seems to come from a genuine enough place.
Can I counter-roll that with charisma?
Well, I would say give me... because with you...
That I'm not.
Well, no, you'd be kind of it'd be more like this is based on how you've acted so far, but also just give me just a straight-up charisma roll just in general. Okay. Just roll plus charisma.
Okay, that's 8.
Okay. The one thing I would say that you get out, that you kind of realise, is there are moments when it's not like his guard is let down, but you definitely get the sense that maybe he's a little bit more nervous than he's letting on. He's definitely kind of holding a little bit back, but kind of using his bravado to kind of power through it. But he genuinely does seem to believe that, he is, this super cool, awesome dude, and he has done great deeds. So there you go.
Please.
And you guys, and Giles is basically, of course, if you require any provisions, I have, if you require them, and he pulls out several maps. Here are maps of the region if you wish to plan your route to Voban. It is in the north, it's northwest of the city itself. It is near the Grasping Peak Mountains, following a river that leads into the Cloud Lake.
To scale.
It is not to scale. Otherwise you would be enormous.
Okay.
How you wish to travel to Voban is, of course, your prerogative. We will provide horses if you require them and such. We can spare those at least.
Do you have any means of transport yourself?
Oh, well, I've got my powerful legs, which will take me many distances. If you need me to carry you on my back, and I imagine I will at most times be carrying you, then just let me know.
God.
Does it make you appreciate Cam Buckland?
How many weeks are you staying with us? Would you be super mad if I just accidentally killed you in this session and you had to roll a new character?
I don't believe we will need your assistance, thank you.
At all?
Just in carrying anything like that, no, we're quite
please.
capable.
I mean, once you've seen my deeds, my strength, my power, and my will, you too may have an action figure on your belt of me, Reynard Ferrahorn.
I sincerely doubt that.
Miss Glenadell, may I have a word?
Yes, of course.
Giles is like, the two of you, there's nothing really left to say. I shall walk you back if you wish, if you have other business. Giles will kind of pull you to the side as the other two are kind of like, he's gesturing them out the door.
We're just in the background, just glaring at each
Just
other.
glaring at each other.
Before I go, I'm just going to be like,
I'm still just standing there,
Yeah,
hands
just
on
like,
hips.
super looking awesome.
Yeah.
Giles pulls you aside, he's like, I should make it clear that Reynard Ferrahorn has been hired by the Council of Talisval. Please ensure that he does not come to harm, and you work as closely with him as you can. He is supposedly a very renowned hunter, and I'm sure, despite his grating personality, that you will find a use for him along the way. But please do ensure that, yes, he is a part of the team. The council.
Suppose I didn't hear any of that.
No, this is like this is being said in a very quiet whisper, kind of as he's leading Alora away. The rest of the council would be very displeased to hear if their investment was not taken seriously.
of course.
Thank you.
I'm sure he will have plenty of time to prove himself.
Indeed, he is a very renowned hunter. We have heard he comes from a family. His uncle was actually quite the hero. He did a lot of work after the Lightfall, clearing out monsters. Gorak was aware of him, and if he is anything like, if Reynard is anything like his uncle, then I'm sure he will be a valuable asset on the road.
Well, that's very good to know.
Yes.
I
If you
will
require
try and
anything,
keep Juto under control.
yes, please. And when he returns and joins you, Mr. Buckland as well. And I'm more worried about what Mr. Buckland will do to Reynard than
To
what
be
Juto
honest,
will.
it's probably just going to be a bit of a contest between them.
Yes.
So I wouldn't worry. No, he
Good.
won't do any harm to him.
Yes. Very well.
We'll be fine.
Thank you. If you require anything, let the assistants in the front of Champions Hold know. I will give my approval.
Of course.
Thank you. And yeah, you guys are kind of escorted out, and what would you like
So
to
it's
do?
about a 2-day journey, they said.
It's more than that, really. It depends on the way you go.
Okay.
It took you guys about 5 days to reach the Winter Spire, and you're kind of going an equal distance, but just in a sort of different direction. Going cross-country where there are no roads is obviously harder, but roads go a different way. However, you would, for example, if you were to travel the road to New Light and then try and head north, you would have to pass through the ruins of First Light, which is this
the
huge
Fall Shards.
metropolis. Yeah, it was this. It basically, First Light was the capital of the Dawn Republic before it was the Dawn Republic. The Fall Shards that fell from Palor's light decimated the city. It was a metropolis. I mean, we're talking probably, I don't know, the size of something like Venice, and it was just utterly destroyed, and it's now in ruins. It was a magocracy, so it was ruled by mages, and you know that there are quite a lot of scavengers go into it to try and find magical artifacts, but it is incredibly dangerous. You know that monsters and all sorts of nasty stuff is in there. The other
And
way would
because
be
of the
to...
shards, we do know that they would dampen magic as well.
you guys know that full shards dampen magic quite considerably. First Light is pretty much a no magic zone entirely. The actual radius of the city is completely null.
What about? Do we know anything about Cloud Lake?
The Cloud Lake is a large lake. A couple of rivers from the Grasping Peaks form it. It forms into a large kind of valley-like basin. Talis Val is actually, you don't see it a lot, but it is built onto the side of the river, and it uses that for fresh water and things like that. The Cloud Lake is expansive. It's a nice fishing lake. It's, there's a few small farming communities that are on the outsides of it, use it to like fish in and that sort of thing. It's currently covered by most of the Dawn Republic is covered in quite thick clouds, for the last few months. You guys have noticed that on your various travels, it does seem to be growing.
Like some kind of cloud giants,
Could be.
doing stuff.
Could be.
And so if we went this way, it would take us past...
The Cloud Lake, the cloud is actually, I've just put that as a representation of the cloud that's kind of hanging over it. You can follow along the Cloud Lake. Following alongside of a lake and a river is easier going because there tends to be more communities built around that way. Going purely cross-country can be quite difficult and somewhat dangerous. There's often roving bands of monsters and bandits and things like that.
Well, you wouldn't need to worry about difficult terrain with my character. If you're travelling for more than an hour, we don't care about difficult terrain, things like that.
Yeah, that's good.
You don't.
So, no, the whole group after an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Alora knows woods and stuff anyway.
So it's really whichever way you guys would like to go, however you want to kind of go about this.
I'd say probably avoid
I-
first light.
Thank you for zooming in on my crappy map, Steve. My super low-res map is made even more low-res.
So I
think
think we should. I think we should avoid First Light because we will have heard of First Light.
It's incredibly famous. You know about it. Well, you would know about it because you are technically from before the Lightfall itself. But even Reynard, even you, Juta, you've lived a pretty cloistered lifestyle. But everybody has heard the story of this. First Light in its day was a wonderful metropolis. It was a center of learning, of magical advancement. It was said that the cities there are lit by flames that never go out, even in the strongest winds, in the rain. There were magical constructs that would help you carry things, that would guard the city. It was a land of wondrous invention. But when the Fall Shards hit, it pretty much wiped the entire place out. There were probably 20, maybe 50,000 died within the city itself when these shards hit. I think day after of tomorrow kind of levels of bad.
I think that way.
I don't think we should go by First Light. I think we should take a different route.
Okay.
That way.
What do you think, Reynard? Well, I'm assuming this is a somewhat in-character discussion.
Yes.
Okay.
As they pull this, you find a quiet table, pull the maps out, and you're discussing which way you want to go.
I think First Light is too dangerous.
Well,
it would also dampen our magic. I don't know how your magic...
magic is no problem for me.
Yes.
I'm all brawn, all skill.
Okay, well,
you
this
need me-
could be a problem for you because if it would dampen our magic, the Fall Shards. We've encountered them before and it was not pleasant for our
you.
party. Well, Trelamar and me.
Magic dampening is no problem to me. All I have is a simple magic scimitar, but beyond that, it's all physical means. This crossbow, and I tap it multiple times, my Wilhelm, my beautiful bow, will shoot through anything that we need in that place.
As he gestures to his crossbow, you can actually see it is a beautifully carved stock, large, heavy-looking crossbow. But you can see modifications have been made to it, where one bolt would normally sit. There's a metal cartridge. There's a cranking kind of twist lever that can pull the string back. And in his in a sash on his belt, or a belt, he has this beautiful kind of bejeweled scimitar, like a cutlass,
Bejeweled.
with a beautiful pristine-looking blade.
Yeah, a slight blue glow to it as
Yeah,
well.
it actually physically glows magically.
Do
I
you
feel we
actually
need
know
to
how
take
to
the
use
moon
that,
bow
or is it for decoration?
I know how to use it, of course I do. I need to utter just one magical word and it will swish across the side.
Word? Did you come up with a word, by the way?
Yes, of course.
Okay, excellent. That's me checking as the DM.
It will swish across the skies, turning everything into ribbons before you. And that's all you need to know about this scimitar. Which, of course, I recovered from a deep, ancient tomb of ancient evils. You need not know the details, of course. But fear not, it will help you.
I'm just giving you the Juto glare. Like, I don't know if you've heard of this, but I'm just glaring at you.
Like,
I'm aware of it now.
Purple-skinned tiefling, just death stare, just like...
Like, you're probably used to, like, people being, oh, that sounds so wonderful. But I'm just staring
This
at you
is
like,
new to me.
I don't believe anything you're saying.
Okay, so this is tense. What should we do, guys? Should we go this way then?
If we go by way of lake, like, enemies will only be able to attack us from one direction, for starters. Unless there's things in the lake.
We have come across that before.
Yeah, we drove one mad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Fun times. Really, we could go. I do have non-magic means of fighting, so I just think that first light is something that we should avoid.
I think we are all of accordance.
Yes.
We go by the lake.
Very well. Okay, so you guys are going to plan your go to follow the lake and then join up with this road and basically follow the river and then go all the way up to Veldeban, basically. Okay,
Like,
perfect.
so what, this side? We're on this side?
Yeah, basically.
Past the Necromancer's Tower.
Which doesn't sound great.
That sounds fun.
You guys do remember, you recall, as
Yeah.
Reynard kind of points it out, you recall that it was actually one of the suggestions, it was actually a suggestion from the council when you were trying to deal with Dimitriv.
Dimitriv, yeah.
They mentioned that there was an old necromancer's tower on the river by the Cloud Lake, which they weren't sure if it would have any solutions to the problem, but it was a suggestion that they provided. And so they just mentioned that. And if you follow that route, it will take you past the tower. Okay, so you guys want to make your way? And I'm guessing you'll procure horses and that sort of thing.
Do I need any potions or anything? Because
I will give you 2 standard healing potions,
Okay.
because that would represent your travelling and things like that.
You got.
Are you worried that they're not going to heal you, Tom?
No. I didn't notice everyone else has got healing potions.
No, it would make sense that you would at least have a couple on you for like a
You would
journey
know
and
if
things
you were a seasoned traveller.
Of course I am. That's why I procured
That's
them
why he's
before
asked,
leaving.
yeah, exactly.
He would have some.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Away.
You guys procure some horses from the city itself. Good, solid riding horses. Thoroughbred, well, not quite thoroughbred, but like hearty kind of working horses, like ones you can rely on, basically.
Okay.
A number of supplies, enough food, water skins, that sort of thing. Basically, general supplies that you're going to need. And you make your way. You cross out of the city, heading pretty much almost back the way you came, back from the Winter Spire. But then you quickly divert off the road and you begin following the river, heading to the northwest.
I'm gonna put flowers in my horse's mane as we're riding along.
Just like druid crafting,
Yeah, just
like
druid craft little
eventually
flowers.
it is a pretty pony. Like
Pretty.
you make it super pretty.
Yeah.
You have like a
just
solid kind
out
of.
of
You kind of
boredom.
made sure you had like a good solid masculine
Oh,
steed.
before I mounted
okay.
it, of course, I yelled, "Steed, attend me!"
Okay. The horse just kind of like looks around, and then a stable boy like leads it over to you, like
I get close
sensing
to
that
it,
you're going to
put
get
my hand-
angry.
Yeah, I put my arm out to stroke it. It like bucks away from me slightly. And multiple times throughout this leaving, I lick my finger, put it into the air, and then very quickly just point in the correct direction.
Okay. Sometimes it's the right direction, sometimes it's not. But generally, you correct yourself. You know
Yeah.
where you're going. Kind of
I'm
thing.
guessing you're
Point.
taking lead. Like,
Yeah, I just sort
Are
of
you
don't
taking
say,
the lead?
Oh yeah, I'm in front. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm in front. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just leading the way.
course.
I'm gonna trot up next to Alora. Ms. Alora, I do not trust nor like this human.
We have to be nice. He has been hired by the council.
Where does it say I have to be nice?
I'm telling you, you have to be nice. They've offered us a manor.
Why do I have to be nice?
Because we just have to be
Is
nice.
that part of the terms and conditions that I have to be nice to this human for us to get a manor?
Yes.
I do not need a manor.
We have to work with him. We can't let any harm come to him, and he can't let any harm come to us. It's
I
a
thought he
joint-
was hired to look
agreement.
after us.
Well, it's a two-way thing.
I cannot help it if he falls over on that scimitar of his.
No, but we have to be on hand to help him, just as he will be on hand to help you. And I will, of course, but
Would Reynard even pay attention to what they're saying? Like,
No,
he's so absorbed in like
No,
the
he-
adventure. He's just like
he's whistling a jaunty tune.
Oh.
Just,
Is it out of tune?
but it's slightly out of tune. But he's like thinking up some tale. Like he's in very soon. He's just going to yell like, "Would anyone like to hear the tale of when I procured this magical scimitar?" Things like this.
Okay. I mean, the thing with Reynard is, like, for all his he is a very handsome-looking fellow. Like, you can definitely see, like, why, people would have find trust in him, or like he could acquire fans, because he's kind of got this like very kind of like, he is Gaston, like, all the villagers are kind of like, oh, look at this guy, and he looks so regal, and he's kind of got like, he looks the part, absolutely, and
not to a tiefling.
Well, more to like the common humaners, basically. I mean, not to you guys, you've kind of seen the world a little bit more, but to a normal person, this is a, to
a young jaded tiefling.
But to the simple folks, this is a man of quite the stature.
As you're noticing this, I am just brushing off multiple leaves off my cloak, keeping everything neat and tidy.
Yeah. So I was going to say,
all over you.
you guys are travelling alongside this river, and after you basically travel for about a day, nothing really of any kind of interest happens. You've kind of just been travelling along. Reynard getting on your nerves, you guys just trying to deal with it. You
Every
stop
time
and
it
have
gets awkward
food.
between them, I'm going to be like, okay, everything's cool.
Like, do you try and like do like a mum thing, like, let's play I Spy.
I just want to diffuse the tension whenever I can.
Okay.
I spy with my little eye something beginning with my bulging biceps.
Oh dear God, you're making it difficult.
That's right, it's me, Reynard Ferrehorn.
I think as well, like, Juto genuinely is going to have an air of suspicion because she has sworn with her life to protect Allura, and she just doesn't trust
anybody.
anyone.
Well, you don't,
So it's not just burning hatred, I am suspicious as well.
Okay, that's fine.
Until I see otherwise.
The first night, awkward, annoying, but nonetheless not dangerous. As you were about halfway through the second day, and you guys have eaten food, I'm not going to make you mark off rations and things like that, you would have applied enough. You see on the distance, you see a crumbling looking tower. It's nestled between a series of hills, just maybe an hour or so away from the banks of what you're starting to get to is the first bit of the Cloud Lake. You can see that years of exposure and lack of maintenance have left it in disrepair. It's got like a large hole in like an angled slate roof. It looks kind of wonky and crumbly with like little bits of structure poking out the side, and loads of ivy and overgrowth completely covering it. And you reckon, based on what you've been told before, this is probably the Necromancer's Tower that the guys had mentioned to you before. And you just see it basically in the distance as you're making your way along this route, about an hour or so away if you wanted to swim by. Or it's kind of on the route, but it's not in your way or anything like that. You don't have to go towards it if you don't want to.
And we got told before that it might be a place to go for the Dimitrov.
Yeah, what you were told, exactly what you two were told, is it belonged to the old master of necromancy before the Lightfall. It was kind of like his summer home, like his little getaway lodge. And yeah, they just happened to mention that when dealing with spirits and undead and things like that, it might have some answers. Reynard, why don't you give me a history check?
Okay.
So this is, and then plus your history bonus.
11
your history skill bonus.
plus 4, 15.
Plus 4. Are you trained in history?
Yes.
Perfect, so 15.
Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you are.
History,
So 15, you kind of know this is a tower. This tower once belonged to the old master of necromancy long before the Lightfall. It fell into disrepair afterwards, but it generally was used by him, and what you've heard is by a favoured apprentice. He would often take a favoured apprentice to this tower, and they would do research here. And rumour has said that there is a library hidden somewhere within the tower.
Okay.
Full of arcane knowledge.
Well, I would suggest we head towards this tower if we need find any more information about what may be attacking this poor village. And as I say that, I slowly slip to the back of the group and let you two lead.
Okay. So he kind of like, his horse is like drifting back as you kind of like letting it drift, and you're like, yes, I suggest we go to this tower, and you're like kind of like
well, I know
falling behind.
I suppose I know all the history of this tower, and it's necromancy.
You know it belonged to a necromancer, yes.
Yeah, so yeah, we can head towards the tower, but of course I drift to the back slightly.
I'll just look around and be like, why exactly should we go to the tower?
It's a point of interest. If we need find any more information.
I don't think they're going to have any information about the current situation. We don't know much about it ourselves.
This tower is some distance from Velderban. I don't see why they would have intel.
Yeah, it's about an hour detour, and it's and it's quite far from the actual town itself.
Well, if you don't want to go to this tower, that's fine by me. We can skip the undead.
Why are you behind us?
Well, I can lead if you need to. If we're not going to the necromancer's tower, of course, let's skip it entirely.
Okay. So you guys are just going to carry on?
Miss Alora?
Yes. Well, I don't think we have a need for necromancy at the moment.
Necromancy.
No,
I
chromancy.
don't think we have a need for it.
Okay.
Well, we do not have an undead fire spirit savaging one of our group.
Not this
You
time.
kind of overhear that.
Okay.
you hear the words fire spirits savaging our group.
In that case, fine. Yes, we needn't go to this tower, of course. I would have no trouble with the undead, the wights, the spirits, the ghosts. But let's leave. Let's go. Let's not go to the undead tower. That's fine by me. And I
We
immediately
can make it a
veer
stop on the way back if you wish.
Nope, that's fine.
Okay, so you just start leading off and just carrying on.
I'll veer the horse immediately is to lead the group away, and then straight at the front of the group as we're not going to the necromancer's tower now.
Perfect. So you guys carry on just trotting on the way. It gets to around about maybe 6, 7 o'clock, and you've made a good progress. You've kind of been taking the horses. You've not been riding them mega hard. You've kind of just been riding them normally, slowing them down for rests, letting them drink, letting them eat, and then you kind of carry on and kind of have a good day's journey. But as you get to, you're now kind of really on the kind of edge of the Cloud Lake. You're just where the river kind of starts to widen out into the lake itself. And as you're kind of going, you can see, like, in the distance, on the bank of the river, like on this wide part of the river, you can see there is a group of maybe 3 or 4 teenagers, and they're jumping up and down and waving at you, kind of like shouting. You can kind of hear like, "Please help us, come on, please!" And like they're jumping up and down.
Witness now the first heroic deed of Reynard Ferrahorn. Yeah, my horse.
You're going to whip the horse?
Yeah.
Okay, so Reynard gallops off towards this group.
Follow him.
You're going to follow him?
I kind of sigh, and then but I trot.
Okay,
I'm
you don't
I'm
rush.
not rushing.
Okay.
I'm trotting.
So, Reynard, you get there first. As you start approaching, as you kind of get towards the children, you'll notice with your passive perception, you actually notice that maybe about 200 feet into the river, there is a small island. On this small island, there's like a small little bit of trees, probably like a couple of like things for like ducks to sit in, whatever they're called, I can't remember. A little fishing kind of like little lake and things like that, like a little bridge for people to fish off. But clinging to this tree, like 200 feet, so you can just barely see it. You can see like what looks to be a human shape up in the tree, like clinging onto it, like hiding in the tree. And as you approach the children, they're like, "Sir, please stop, please, we need your help."
I dive in straight away.
You just dive into the water.
I'm diving in.
Okay.
I
He's a
do
dick.
not want my crossbow to come to any harm or rust or anything like that, so I put that to one side.
Put that to the side.
My scimitar to one side.
And put this, and you just dive in.
I dive in.
Do you just like take the clothes off or the boots,
The
or
cloak will come off.
so you just like like pull a cord
I pull
and
it,
it just like
it goes away in the wind, but not too far that I can't retrieve it again. But I dive in.
okay, and you dive in. Okay, so you dive in. Give me,
swimming
and
full
you're going to
speed.
swim for this island. So
Yeah.
you're going to give me an athletics check to do
Oh
this.
no. Oh no.
God.
So that would just, well, I'm not proficient in it, so...
Okay, so
I
it's your
should point
strength
out
modifier.
that
Oh, no,
he's
athletics,
using
did you say?
Trelamar's
Yes,
cursed
athletics.
dice.
Oh, sorry, yeah. No, I got an 8.
8. Okay,
Yeah.
so you swim in. It's not like there's no strong current or anything, but your clothing gets soaked. Your boots are weighing you down. You're trying your best to look heroic while swimming, but you are struggling. Like you're like, yes, and like just barely like you come up for air, smile, but then you're like
Every now and
desperately
then
trying to
just-
swim. As you swim, like you start swimming off, and you hear like the children kind of like, "It's Mr. Miller." As you kind of pull up, they're like, Miss, he's dived straight in. Where? And they're like, "We need your help." What? He's a hero.
What's happening?
Our friend, and like, you can't hear this at this point. They're like, our friend, we were all swimming in the lake on the river, and our friend, we dared Delilah to swim out to the island. And then when she did, this massive crocodile, like it's so big, it like came out of the water, and it tried to eat her, and it like started, she ran up in the tree, and then it started trying to knock the tree down. It's in the water, and they're pointing to where Reynard is now swimming.
I'm gonna shout. I'm just gonna go, Reynard! Giant crocodile!
Can I roll for perception to see if I...
Yeah, if you want to.
Oh, one.
Wow.
You are like head underwater. You hear like, aha, and you can see Alora on the shore like watching, and you're like, aha, yes, they're watching you
Still
being
going, never
brave.
fear.
They're like, it's massive. It's got like stones, like crystals embedded in its skin. It was mad. It was crazy.
Oh,
Juto, at this point, you kind of trot up. Reynard, you've probably gone about 80, like you've swum like a good 80 feet out towards this island,
Naturally.
and you're like making good progress here. And you can make it. And as you kind of draw in close, you kind of look up and you can see this girl is pointing in the water, like around this little island.
Okay.
And she's like pointing and like doing this, like clinging on. She's like pointing in.
Whew,
This worked out so much.
I mean, I would like to use a bee sense, but I don't feel like I'd know.
Well, you just at this, yeah. I mean, you've just seen this girl pointing. Why don't you give me another perception check, actually?
Okay.
And I'll make a stealth check.
You're using Trell's cursed dice, I swear to God. You can't roll above 10.
8. I've
8.
rolled an 8.
Yeah, you don't see what she's. What?
That was a 2.
It doesn't make any sense why they're like shouting and hollering.
Okay, I continue.
Perfect. So, Elora and Juto, who are on the side of the bank.
Actually, I imagine she's
Wait, how
pointing at
far
me.
away is the how far away is the island?
About
from?
200 feet from the bank.
And I'm 80 in.
And you've gone, he swam in about 80.
Can I jump on the bronze griffin and fly to him?
So you summon the bronze griffin. So you pull out the little statue and whoom, the kids are all like,
It's a little
"Whoa!"
statue that turns into a
And
griffin.
it's like a tiny little statue of a griffin. And it turns into this metallic flying griffin. The kids are all like, "Whoa!" As you pull it out and you begin mounting it and you start flying your way over. Do you just fly over it on your own? Or are you going to take Juto with you?
Do you want to come with me? I'll give her the option before I fly
You
out.
like turn over, like give her like a 3-second look of like, are you getting on or not?
I'm gonna sigh, roll my eyes, and get on, and then mutter something about foolish humans.
Okay.
And you guys
She's
start
on.
flying your way. Right. So at this point, Reynard, you're kind of swimming your way, and that was weird. Like you get maybe about 120 feet, and you can see, you don't look behind you. You're currently just looking at this girl on this island. It's kind of weird. You think you see like a log, like in the river, and it's like moving.
Okay.
And it takes you a moment to register, but this thing is so quick. In like a flash, you just watch as water begins churning up, and you just see a pair of jaws begin to rise up out of the water. And these jaws, it's almost like a rowing boat. Like it's the size of a rowing boat, just its mouth. And there is a sudden panic of, oh gods, what have I done? And then you just have like these jaws attempt to snap over you.
Have fun with that.
You are currently swimming. So
Oh, okay.
your stats. So that is going to be, would a 24 beat your armor class?
That'll beat it.
Yes.
Okay.
Have I taken damage already?
You are taking some damage, my friend.
It's only a crocodile.
Giant crocodile
Only a
with gems on
giant.
its back. It's cool.
18 points of damage.
18.
18. So you're going to write down, in your HP box, 18. As these giant jaws just clamp down on your body. Your armor is kind of like the chain shirt that you keep hidden beneath your clothes.
Yeah.
Is stopping it from like piercing into your flesh, but it's starting to cut against your skin, on your arms, and you can feel that is an immensely strong jaw that's just
Wow.
currently crushing you, and it's got you grabbed in its mouth.
Okay.
This crocodile is, I want to say it's probably like 4 horses, like the size of 4 horses,
Oh,
like
God.
maybe like 16 foot long, like I said, mouth like a rowing boat, and it slams down on you, and you can now see its eyes are just bloodshot red, and it
Okay.
has these shards, like crystalline shards, embedded into its scales on its back, and it's just thrashing you around like in
Right.
the water.
Oh, God.
And then you basically feel it, whoop, and you feel like water rush around you as it pulls you underwater.
God, okay, so sorry, the 18, that's minus from my maximum.
That is so. If you the way I do it is I write how much damage I take, and then when it hits my hit points, I know I've run out basically.
Okay.
That's the easiest way for me. And
Yeah.
that is going to be everybody's going to make an initiative roll. So this is to determine who goes when in
God
combat.
damn it. Gaston.
The first 20 I rolled.
No,
Natural
what?
20.
Natural 20. Good
So
job.
that's 20 plus 4 for my initiative.
You
I guess?
roll it
Yep.
when it counts.
Yeah. So I got 24 for that then.
Good job. Elora,
19.
Juto. Initiative.
15.
You had to think there.
I just had a real problem there with math.
I was just like, numbers.
What is the math?
Well, Reynard, in a panic, you suddenly realise what's happened. You've been basically pulled underwater by this giant crocodile, and it's currently, you are what's called restrained, which means you are basically being grappled. So you can't. Your speed is currently 0. Any attack rolls against the creature grappling. Any attack rolls have disadvantage, which means you roll 2d20s and you take the lowest. And you have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws, but that's not going to matter.
Wow, okay. So I suppose since I'm underwater, I can't use any verbal spells or anything like that.
Gurgle,
No.
gurgle, gurgle.
Any spells that have the verbal component you cannot use.
So I can't use animal friendship. Great.
I'm not convinced it would work anyway.
No, you don't know. You might do.
I also dropped my weapons.
You didn't take your weapons with you, so you currently have these. Did you have like any daggers on you or something like that?
I have a net. I have a net.
You have a net like in your bag or something? Like
It's attached to my belt. I have a net.
Okay, I'd say you'd probably have a knife as well. You'd have like a dagger or something
Okay.
like that. Because I think you've got one in your artwork on your boot.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, Nina drew one on your
Oh,
boot
do I?
artwork.
Yes, I do.
Steve's
I'm
like,
pretty sure
check
you do.
The art,
Write
check
that
the
one
art.
down. I think I would like to try. So
So what you can do, the jaws are
massive.
around you. Now you can try and escape from the jaws. It's, you basically have to make either an athletics or an acrobatics check to try and break yourself free.
Okay, I think in that case I'll have to do an athletics.
Okay, give me an athletics check to try and break free.
24.
So,
Nice.
in panic, now would you say for Ray, is this more panic or is this like strength? Is he just like, ah!
He is lashing, like
Okay, you're like,
slamming everything he can to just get free.
Okay, so you're doing everything you can to break free and you're like wrestling these teeth and you manage to like, it kind of, you do something like you kick it in the roof of its mouth and it kind of goes, and you manage to use that momentum and you break free.
Okay.
So you're currently not being grappled, but you're still next to this thing.
I'm still underwater.
You're still underwater. You can swim though, you can still try and swim away.
In that case, I need to get back to the surface.
Okay, so
I want to get away from this.
Yeah, it had only brought you like a few feet under the water, so you instantly managed to like break the surface, and you basically see Reynard like pull himself upwards. So that is going to be that's pretty much your movement done.
Okay.
You still have an action if you'd like to take it.
Would it be able to hear my animal friendship if I tried it?
You don't know.
I would like to try my animal.
So you're going to cast animal friendship.
So it lets me convince a beast that I mean it no harm.
Okay. And what's it? Do I have to make a saving throw? I'm guessing on there.
Okay, so it must see and hear me.
Okay, you can see and hear you.
Okay. If the beast's intelligence is 4 or higher, the spell fails.
Okay.
Otherwise, the beast must succeed a wisdom check.
Okay,
Saving
wisdom
throw.
saving throw. And on your spell sheet, it's got something called spell save DC. What's yours?
14.
Okay. As you cast the spell, well, with you, you're kind of like doing the. It's less magical with you, isn't it? It's more like, I mean you no harm, crocodile.
I'm just making myself as big as possible and just
Okay.
sort of,
While swimming.
kicking my legs furiously.
You're like, calm, beast, calm. You can see the crocodile kind of like under the water. It's kind of murky shape and it's massive. It just kind of swishes around and looks at you, and you don't think that it's going to be your friend.
Okay, all right, and that's my action, I suppose.
That's your action. Yeah, you've got a bonus action if you'd like to do something else.
I am swimming away.
Well, that would be your movement. So your movement is what you would use to swim away. So a bonus action is things like some of your spells are bonus actions, maybe like certain actions and things like that.
So can I lay down my net along the top of the water?
So you want to get your net out, basically.
Yeah, I want to get my net out, spread it out as far across the water as I can for when it leaps up again.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you
Okay.
kind of spread it out in front of you, hoping that if it tries to bite you, it will
If it
hit
goes
your
at me
net.
again, it'll...
Perfect. That's fine. That's absolutely something you can do. Elora.
How far are we currently from?
So he had got 120. You guys got on the Griffin. Griffin's got a speed of 80, so you are like 40 feet away from him.
Move towards him.
Okay, yeah, you're
guessing
basically
we can see him.
You're hovering over him now, yeah, and you can see him like thrashing around. He's kind of laid this net out. Give me just perception checks, both of you.
17.
11.
Okay, you can both see under the water there is an enormous crocodile, and you can see shards of crystal poking from its back. They look suspiciously like full shards, like maybe like the size of like a crossbow bolt, like maybe like 5 or 6 of them. And it is just swimming under the water trying to eat Reynard.
So he's put a net out.
Yeah, it's like a rope net. It looks like hemp rope with like weights on the end, and he's kind of spread it out. It looks like it would probably wrap around this crocodile's jaws, and that's about it.
So.
Yeah, like it. But like that's how big this thing is. Is that your net, which can capture a human-sized person, will just about fit around this thing's mouth.
Okay.
I say we leave him.
You hear the tiefling like looking down. I say we leave him.
Did any of you pick up my weapons, perchance?
No, they didn't. You can see one of the kids is holding the crossbow, like trying to work out how to use it. He's like, "Ugh."
You be careful with that.
We didn't have a chance because some idiot threw himself into crocodile-infested waters.
What would you like to do, Laura?
So, I want to fly above him.
Yeah, the griffin's just like hovering over him.
Can I pull him onto the griffin, but jump off myself?
Yes, if you get off, you can pull him on. Okay.
What are you doing? I want to
trust
pull
us.
him on and jump off and use my bonus action to be a hunter shark.
Okay, so you watch as Laura, this tiny, small elf, maybe just give me a strength check just on your own.
Oh, shit.
But you can have advantage because the griffin will probably help as well.
No, it was still terrible. It's like 6.
So you
Can
manage
you show
to,
help?
you pull him out of the water, and the griffin's got like a claw, but you are sopping wet. It is not dignified in any way, and then you just kind of slip off.
I don't need it to be dignified. I just need him to be on the thing.
It's more, he's not on the griffin, but the griffin is at least can probably pull him up onto his next
I'm going to say
turn.
to Juto before I do that, just make sure he's on the griffin and he can go away. Okay? Have fun.
I will ensure
And
nothing.
I'll do the thing
And
on
then
the
you
shark.
splash into water, and you watch as this tiny, kind of blue-skinned, purple-haired elf morphs into a purple shark. Like, blah, blah.
I am screaming in terror.
So like high-pitched screaming, or like, ah!
Just like a low pitch for now.
Okay,
but
low
high
pitch, like,
make it.
ah!
Will you shut up?
So, action and bonus action, and then I'm assuming you just want to move up.
Is that my action?
I would
to
say
do
pulling
that?
him out
Okay.
of the water
Okay.
would be, yeah.
That's fine.
I think that's for you. Okay.
How far are we from the shore?
You are 120 feet from the shore, or 80 feet from the
wait.
island.
From the island?
Yeah.
So I want to start going towards the island.
Okay.
My movement's 40 feet.
Okay, so you swim, like,
I
you're
wanna,
pretty
like-
much, halfway there.
Lead it
Okay.
towards.
Perfect. Juto.
So we're 80 foot from the island, and the griffin has 80 foot of movement.
Yeah.
And idiot here is on the back.
Griffin's got him close enough.
Okay.
Is he like maybe the griffin's got him by 1 foot and he's just
Yeah,
trailing?
basically
up,
that kind of thing. Like it's really
My
undignified.
cloak is like going over my face.
Yeah,
and
it's
sort of
like
brushing it
super
aside.
like blah 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 blah.
Now you left your cloak. You don't have a
Oh,
cloak.
that's
yeah.
true.
It
Yeah.
blew away in the
Your
wind.
bloomers or something.
It's probably
Yeah,
that kind of
okay.
very embarrassing. Like 1 foot, just dragging him like like an awkward, like somebody who fell off a ski. Like blah blah blah.
I'm just gonna look and double check that he's mostly secure.
Yeah.
And instruct the griffin to fly to the island.
Okay.
So we go to the island where the girl is.
Okay, so yeah, the movement of the griffin takes you about 80 feet. You are eventually dragged up onto sand, onto solid ground
Just
by
really
your foot, and then it just
Yeah.
drops you.
Just drop him.
And the griffin lands, so that's your move.
Okay. Action-wise,
What would you like to do?
the crocodile thing isn't anywhere near me, is it?
It's about 80 feet away now.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to cast fly using the DOS lute.
Okay, so the tiefling pulls out a DOS lute, strums a few notes, and you watch as a wave of magic kind of wafts around her, and you can now fly. So you've used that for today. Okay, perfect. The giant crocodile in the water sees the shark and just enraged. It kind of like
B-movies.
it snaps out and it kind of chases after the shark.
This is
Sharknado.
going to make for an epic fight.
It moves up surprisingly quickly, Alora. This thing easily speeds up and catches up to you without any question. Its huge, powerful tail whips around and kind of slams into your side. Where is it? That's a 19.
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to take...
My pencil.
9. You can take 14 points of bludgeoning damage. You can't be knocked prone because you're in the water. Does make sense for a shark to be knocked prone. But then as it hits you with the tail, it then tries to snap its huge jaws. However, that was cocked. Oh, that is only a 13 to hit, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that does hit with the hunter.
It's a big shark.
It's a big shark. The shark takes another
Purple
14.
shark. Big purple shark. Blue teeth?
17.
No.
That's going to be 20 points of damage, and you are currently grappled as these huge jaws. Actually, what size are you?
I don't know.
It doesn't say?
Big.
I don't have the.
Oh,
it's in
hang
the
on.
monster manual.
That's right, I've got it here.
Big.
Giant.
Hunter
big.
shark.
Large, no, it does. It literally, you are smaller than this crocodile, and its teeth kind of wrap around you, and you are currently restrained. Reynard, you are now on dry lands.
Well, I immediately get up, swish my hair back,
Like
throw the
water
as much
goes
water as-
everywhere.
Yeah. I am immediately going to approach this child that's.
Yeah,
in
you
the
can
tree.
see her like in this tree, and you can now see the base of this tree. Half of it has been like torn away, like battered down. It looks like a couple more hits, and it probably would have knocked itself over, basically.
Okay, well,
You
straight
still
away.
have the bronze griffin, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh.
the griffin is like stood over you.
Okay. How much range do I need for my scimitar to hear me?
That is a
imagine
good
it's
question.
Quite far, but
That is a good question. I don't know if I ever looked that up.
I think it's around 20 feet.
I think
but-
it's 30 feet, yeah.
Oh, right, okay,
Well,
then.
it can go 30 feet. I don't know how much it needs to hear you, though, or if it just needs to see you.
Can I suppose I can yell 100 odd.
There is no, as long as it can hear you. So if you shout it, it will probably hear you.
Right. Okay. No, in that case, I think I will just walk up to the child as dignified as possible, put one arm out, yeah,
Squelch, squelch.
Yeah.
and just put one arm out. It's I, Reynard Ferrahorn, here to save you.
Okay.
She's seen him fall in the water.
She has. Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage. You're going to roll 2d20s and use the lowest.
Okay.
Because she did see you get completely annihilated by that
15.
crocodile.
And a 4, so I take 4 persuasion.
Persuasion.
So that's a 12.
12. She like looks down. She's like, sir, that crocodile's still in the water. You're not safe. You should get up here.
You're right. And I jump off the tree.
You just start scrambling your way up. You find like another large branch that you kind of sit on.
I pull a branch around me, just
Yeah.
stay safe for
Yeah,
now.
no. She's just like, it can't get us up here.
You're quite right. I stand by your word.
I'm just looking at this going, my
Yeah, you're
hero.
kind of just like hovering in the air slightly. Just
my
watching.
hero.
After you, Juto.
Elora, you are currently grappled. You are restrained. What would you like to do? You can attack, but you do have disadvantage while you're grappled, or you can escape.
Can I try
Yeah,
and
escaping is
escape?
movement. So if you don't have athletics or acrobatics, it's just strength or dex.
19?
That's enough. Yeah, you kind of, you whip your fins, you kind of bite into its jaws a bit, and then you manage to kind of break free of its grapple.
Can I bite it?
Yep. Can I bite it?
Can I bite it?
Absolutely.
Oh, hi.
Oh no.
No. Oh, don't you worry.
10.
Remember, you're going to a settlement of dwarves.
Hey. Greyfriars, Bobby.
10 to hit.
Yeah.
That is not enough. Yeah, this thing has like its thick kind of
I just want to keep
hide.
swimming.
Yep.
Just keep swimming.
Okay.
Just keep swimming.
Because you had to use some of your movement to break free, you basically use half your movement, so you go 20 feet towards the island. So
How
you're about
close am
20
I to
feet
the
from the
shore?
shores.
20 feet from shore.
Yeah, you're about 20 feet from the shore now. Juto.
How like close to the surface is it?
Well, like at the moment they're kind of maybe about, I'd say 5-10 feet beneath the surface. 10 feet.
So I could probably poke it with my poking stick.
You'd have to get underwater to really attack it properly with melee. You could use something like Burning Hands, probably, from the water.
Yeah, I think that would go out in the water.
Water Whip.
Yes, that was my other option.
Yep.
I would like to water whip, please.
I would like to Water Whip. Okay, how many key points are you spending? Because this changes the damage. 2?
Okay, so 1, 2. Let's go for third. Let's do
Okay,
3.
3. And I have to make a saving throw.
You need to make a dexterity saving throw.
And what is your DC?
My DC is.
Next page.
I wrote it down.
Oh.
I wrote it down here. I worked it out.
Dex DC 14.
10. It fails. So you kind of underneath the water, Elora you watch as Juto kind of waves her hands, and a part of the water itself kind of breaks away and just slams into the side of this crocodile underwater.
3d10 bludgeoning damage.
Does that
Plus
increase?
1 extra for
additional key
key points.
So 40 10s.
So 4, 9, 18.
18 points.
18 points, and I can either knock it prone or pull it up 25 feet closer.
You can pull it 25. You can pull it closer. You can't knock it
Knock
prone
it
because it's
prone.
kind of really swimming, so it can't really just go under. Just
Can I just pull it closer to the surface?
Yeah, absolutely. You
just
can
pull
you
it-
actually pull it up and above. Elora, it kind of moves past you, and you pull it 25 feet. You say?
25, yeah.
Yeah, you actually pull this thing onto the shore. Like you kind of like the water kind of erupts and it dumps this
trying to get it there
crocodile
anyway.
onto the shore, like 5 feet, sort of
I
onto the
imagine I was
sandy
kind of
beach.
Flying a little bit above the water though,
Okay.
because I'm flying. So I don't know if I'd pull it onto a beach. I don't know. Screw it, it's on the beach.
It's just because you didn't say you had moved before.
Yeah, sorry.
It just so it kind of like breaks the water, and you can see it's kind of disorientated, snapping its head around, looking around for the source of whatever has just done this to it. Basically,
I'm flying out of reach though.
Well, it's your movement now. It's your movement action now.
Okay,
Would you like to fly out of its reach?
Yeah, I would like to fly away
that's
from
fine.
Snappy Jaws.
Okay, so you fly up like what? How high or away?
Like maybe
10 feet or something?
20 feet.
20 feet up in the air, so you just go straight up 20 feet. Okay, yeah, so you watch this tiefling just whoosh, flies up into the air.
Leaves me alone on this island.
It's now
the tree.
higher than the tree. Like,
It's
you,
your
okay.
problem now.
like you guys are maybe like 15 feet up in this tree. You and this small girl who's like wearing like a loose shirt and like just some bottoms basically, and like is just clinging to it, like shivering. She's super cold. The crocodile kind of like snaps around. It like looks up at you. Can't really get to you, so it turns its attention on the tree,
Sus.
and it just kind of barges and tries to hit it with its tail.
Of course it does.
The tree.
Yeah, it's like smacking
okay.
into
Yeah,
the
'cause you can't
tree's
get
thing.
up
Another big chunk of the tree just cracks and snaps, and you can begin to feel it's kind of becoming a bit more unstable. The girl kind of clutches onto your arm, just screaming.
Okay, does that hinder me?
No,
Okay.
and it's your go, Reynard.
Okay.
There's still the griffin.
Sorry?
There's still a griffin.
The griffin's just kind of like flapping in the air, awaiting orders.
And it's higher than the tree, so much higher than me.
The griffin?
What, the griffin?
Yeah.
The griffin
It's just floating
is
about,
just
like 10
not
feet in the
doing
air,
anything
basically.
right
It's
now.
not doing anything right now.
Okay. In that case, I think with the girl attached to my arm, I would like to try and climb up the tree and get the girl onto the griffin.
Okay, you call the griffin over.
Yeah.
You kind of just, you like call it, you're like, Griffin, come here, come here. And
Attend me!
It looks at you, and then it flies over.
Good.
And then you are going to put the girl on it,
Just
basically.
swing her up as best as
Okay,
possible.
yeah, she kind of like, she like clutches onto it, and she's like holding onto like this metal griffin's hair. It's trying to get handholds on it. She's like, like panicking a little bit, but you managed to like put her on it, basically.
Okay. I suppose the crocodile is at the base of the tree.
Yeah, it's like, it's about to try and snap it in half.
With my newly acquired dagger. So the net did nothing.
No, it went after the shark instead. It didn't come up
yeah,
to the surface
sorry,
to get you.
Um,
And you've lost your net now.
I would like to almost slide down the tree as best as possible, dagger in one hand,
Okay.
and try to plunge it into
Okay.
the crocodile.
Perfect. So what you're going to do there is either you can give me an athletics check to do the sliding down, jumping
to see
bit.
if you just fall out of the tree.
Okay, that's 22.
Perfect.
Nice.
You kind of see that there's one branch kind of looping down. You maybe pull out like a cravat or something, like loop it around, like zip line down, like ha ha.
The rest of it on 2 feet, like Legolas on a shield.
Okay.
Just get down the trunk of the
Yeah,
tree.
and you just fly down. You can make so use your scimitar stats. You're going to do slightly less damage, but you have advantage on the roll.
1d6.
No, so you need to
So
roll
you
to
need
hit
to roll a
first. You roll a
d20.
d20 first. Add your attack bonus for your scimitar.
Okay, so that's 22 again.
Okay, and you get to roll twice because you have advantage. Roll the d20 and see if you get a high one because you might get a natural 20.
Okay, no.
No, you hit.
yeah.
So you do hit it, you kind of slide down and you plunge the dagger into this creature's hide. You're going to roll a d4. Somebody got a d4 that they can do?
Triangular one.
Here.
There you go. So you're going to roll that and you're going to add your dexterity modifier.
1.
Plus your dex ability mod.
So 5.
So 5 points of damage. So you kind of plunge down. The dagger sinks into its flesh a little bit, but it really doesn't. It just seems to anger it, and it kind of like looks up at you with these red shut eyes.
I'm just gonna keep hold of the dagger and
Just
just,
like, "Ah!"
attach to like the back of this crocodile. yeah.
Okay, perfect. Elora,
How far am I from the shore?
you were 20.
Is its little tail still in the water?
Oh, it's pretty big, so yes, I will say it is. I would say you can bite its tail.
I get advantage
I'd
because
say
it's
it's
not
kinda
at full health.
Oh, it is. That's very true.
Natural 20.
Can't get better than that. So yeah, double the dice.
Okay.
How much damage does this do?
That
2d8
advantage is called
plus
Blood
something.
Frenzy.
Yeah, blood.
It's a shark.
Cool.
Wow.
So you double what you roll on the dice.
My friend's a shark.
Your friend is now a shark.
22, 23, 24, 26 damage.
26 points of damage. You fly up and you actually bite off the end of this thing's whole tail. Just snap. And it just, and you tear it off. And the crocodile starts thrashing around desperately. Just snapping around. It's still fighting. Like, this thing is mad. You've made it furious.
So the griffin's currently got the little girl on
and it's
it.
flying high
And
up in
it's-
the air. It definitely can't reach them. But Reynard is currently on its back, like, whoa! As it's kind of thrashing around. He's got this tiny dagger wedged in, like, between its hide, and he's just flopping around as this crocodile is thrashing.
Do you want to break for the end of combat?
Is it time for break now? Cool. We'll take a break because we've got to get it on the hour for the old admins.
Okay.
Sorry. Do you want to go? You can quickly take your turn.
Well, I've done my action. I was just kind of... no, it's okay.
Okay.
I'll-
Perfect.
I'll be fine.
All right, we are going to take a very quick 5-10ish minute break here. We'll be back very shortly to finish off this combat and see if Reynard survives.
Great.
His first battle.
Yeah.
First combat, yay! Right, see you guys in 5 minutes. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, and welcome back to HighRollers. Sorry, we just had a last minute, we're going to go live. Nobody's plugged their mics in, quick.
What's a microphone?
Welcome back. We hope you have been enjoying Mr. Reynard Ferrahorn, or at least enjoying hating him, which I think is what Juto's doing right now.
Love to hate. Yeah.
And we are in the middle of combat as Reynard rushed into a lake, into a river to try and help a teenager, a young girl.
Dropping all their weapons.
Dropping all of his weapons, rushed into the lake, not knowing that a giant, full shard embedded, mad, giant crocodile was waiting for him. So we come back in at Juto.
Cool. Crocodile is on...
It's kind of half in the water, half out of the water at this point.
Okay.
So, and it was trying to knock the tree down, but now it's kind of trying to get a hold on Ferrahorn and the shark, which is just nipping at its tail in the water.
Its tail
Doesn't have a tail.
Yeah, tail.
Yeah, well, it's got like a stump of a tail, basically.
How damaged does he look?
Pretty bad, like half of his tail's missing. You can see kind of like marks in its flesh. A lot of its, one of its legs looks kind of badly bruised from where your water whip hit it.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a lie. I would like to smack it up a bit.
So you're going to fly down.
Yeah.
The girl is attached on the griffin as well.
No, it's alright, Juto's flying on her own. She's not on the griffin.
I
Kind
have
of fly on herself.
She casts a spell
Fly.
fly on herself, so she can just fly like Superman.
Of course.
Like,
She's got a DOS lute and she just
Magic-
strums
magically-
away and
magic
it
guitar.
makes her
Nice.
so
make her invisible too.
you're going to just attack?
Yeah, we're kind
Guandao?
of good at this thing.
Guandao attack?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
15 plus 9.
That is a hit.
So D8 for
You can add poison damage.
9 plus 3 poison damage.
So 12.
Yeah. And I would like to extra attack as well.
Yep, same attack, but no poison damage.
16 plus 9.
Easily hits. You kind of strike down, as you fly down, you slash once with the Guandao from above the crocodile.
Plus 7.
And another second slash comes across its back, raking, carving off several of its thick hide scales, but it's still fighting and it's kind of snapping around. Not sure who to attack.
Can I flurry?
Yes, you want to spend a key point? 2 unarmed strikes.
Oof. 8 plus 8, 16.
Yep. You just punch it. So you slash it with this Guandao, and then you just...
9.
Another 9. Yep.
Can I fly away?
You have 2 attacks if you spend a key point. You have 2 unarmed strikes. She flurried.
18 plus 9.
Yep.
Yes!
Yeah.
5.
5 points. the second kick, you actually get one of its eyes, blinding it as its kind of eye just closes and swells, and you can see it's staggering around, still fighting, but this thing is definitely on its last legs. It's kind of just staggering around, desperately trying to get a grip. It turns around, snapping its jaws at the shark, which it sees as the largest threat. That is going to be
mentally,
15 to hit.
Yes.
So you're going to
Kill the shark.
Probably do that.
No, but
14 damage.
I'm out of shark.
So you poof. So the shark dissipates and it returns back to the elf. As your elven form, Elora, you are still grappled under the water.
What?
Oh, by
Because
the...
it grapples by
It bit onto you, so it bit the shark.
Do you not save against that?
No, it's on its attacks. You have to break free on your turns. And Juto, as you're kind of fighting, whilst some of its tail has been bitten off, it's still enough to whack you with its kind of powerful muscular tail in the air. That's going to be an 18.
Yes.
You're going to take 14 points of bludgeoning damage. And can you give me a strength saving throw, please?
A second, I gotta do the math.
Do the math. That's the name of the game in D&D.
14.
Add it up.
You took 14 bludgeoning damage and a strength saving throw, please.
Oh, this is gonna be good. 1.
So as you're kind of flying in the air, this tail bats you, almost like knocking a fly out of the air, and you tumble down. The spell's still active, but it knocks you onto the ground, skidding into the floor prone, so you're currently prone. Reynard!
I'm attached to his back.
You are attached to its back, and you can see it's slow and sluggish. It's now got this elven woman in its jaws, and you can see she's like desperately like underwater, currently pinned underwater.
Okay, do I not need to make any saving throws to stay attached? Or
No,
anything?
like, because at the moment that's you choosing to hold on to your knife.
Okay.
Like, you're just choosing to hold on to this thing.
Okay, so how close to its head am I? Am I quite far down its back, or...?
No, I'd say you're kind of like sort of middle of its back. You could easily pull the dagger free and try and...
Okay, I have extra attack.
Okay.
I want to make 2 attacks, both of which I'm using to climb up towards its head.
So you like pull it out.
Yeah, and wrench myself forward, and
Okay.
I just want to get to like the back of its head so I can
Perfect.
jab it into, I assume, where its brain is.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, perfect. Give me, so you're going to roll, use your scimitar stats. So you're going to roll the d20 plus your scimitar's attack bonus.
Okay, that's 22 again.
Okay, so that's going to hit. So you're going to do d4 plus your dex mod in damage.
Okay, 2 and dex 6.
Okay, so Reynard, as you pull the dagger free, and the wound's quite grievous, it starts bleeding. You watch as like the creature kind of staggers, and you go to try and pull yourself up, but you kind of slam the dagger in so hard, and you hear it hits something squishy in the inside,
Okay.
and the crocodile sort of underwater. You just managed to kind of pull yourself free of its jaws as it's basically its last breath evaporates from its body, and you deal the killing blow.
Nice.
Quite legitimately killing the creature.
Yes!
The laugh.
Like, actually genuinely did the last... It had 3 hit points left
3.
from Juto, who did most of the damage. Juto and Elora pretty much did most of the damage.
Okay, wrench my dagger free.
The girl is just like, oh my god, like clapping because she only saw you. Like, she saw you do the final blow.
I'm going to stand atop the crocodile, 1 foot raised on top of its head, and just burn, 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 burn.
Do you actually make the trumpet noises
I'm just-
yourself?
Reynard!
Juto, you pull yourself up off the ground where the crocodile knocked you.
I'm gonna get out of the water.
You like drenched, sopping wet.
I'm covered in blood from where the stump like hit me.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I want to point at the girl and on the griffin and just say, "You will remember this tale as the day you were saved."
You saved me, Mr. Ferrohorn, thank you!
But of course...
Thank you so much!
can I still fly?
Yes.
Okay. Carry on.
Remember, you must go back to your parents, your loved ones, and tell tale of the day you were saved. By Reynard Ferrohorn, Master Adventurer.
I will. Thank you both so much. Thank you as well. And like she does look at you and it's like, thank you. Like she's calling it help. But you can see she is totally believes that Reynard is the one that killed this thing.
I'm gonna calm the griffin down and get on the griffin.
The griffin
with
just
her
floats down.
and just fly her across.
I'm gonna get up and just fly.
So the two of you fly, and you watch, still on this griffin, feeling
sort of
very
like
powerful.
glancing every now and then.
And just the griffin flies to the other shore, the tiefling flies behind. Although, before you fly off, you have to make a concentration saving throw against 14.
Oh, yeah.
So, constitution saving throw.
Oh, I love it.
See if you
What
keep the
for?
spell. Because you have to keep the spell.
You need to keep your
I've
concentration.
never had to do that before.
That's because I've probably forgotten before. But it is a concentration spell, so...
So what's it?
Constitution saving throw, so...
18.
That's enough. You keep the spell, and you just fly away.
So the girl's on the griffin.
Yeah,
she's back to shore.
she kind of looks
you're on
behind.
your
She's
own.
like, "You've forgotten, Mister," and then you're like halfway across the river.
It's okay, he's a really good swimmer.
Yeah, that's true. He came
Yeah.
all the way to save me. Like,
You can hear in the distance, just, it's fine. I just brush myself as clear as possible and
I'll take
dive
her
in again.
to the...
okay,
Oh, did you just dive in?
just
I was
diving
going
in.
to take her to the shore and then
Yes.
send the griffin back for him.
okay.
I know, I'm already swimming.
like,
But
so you-
tell the griffin to pick him up by his foot again and to bring him back.
Okay, well, so you land, the girl kind of gets off, and all the others are just like, "You did it! Oh, thank you, miss. Thank you, Delilah. Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, Mr. Farron, Reynard saved me." And like she's like telling like the story about like what happened. And like kind of doing all this thing. You can see the boy who was holding Reynard's crossbow was finally like taking aim, and then like, oh, but now he's kind of holding it, hoping that nobody will notice that he's got it. One of the other boys has picked up the scimitar and is kind of like swishing it around. They've got like the cloak over their shoulders.
Like, good, they have the cloak.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay.
Reynard, you start swimming. Give me the athletics check.
Okay. 20.
Oh,
Natural 20.
invigorated. You're just like, bump.
Unbelievable.
You are just.
Just a full steam.
This is like you feel great.
It's
Like,
just a wave of ocean piling around me. It's like barrel through the ocean.
however, you are not as fast as a griffin. You land, and do you still send the griffin back?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you're kind of swimming your way back, and you see this big bronze griffin kind of fly over you. It looks down and just with one claw grabs your foot and then drags you the rest of the way.
Okay.
Just like brah, like your head occasionally like dipping into the water, like blah, 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 and then it pulls you up. It drops you in a bit more, pulls you up as you're just dragged along.
Brilliant.
As you kind of hit the shore, you are thoroughly bedraggled. Your hair is just flat and sopping wet. Your clothes are absolutely drenched.
I've given the cloak to the little girl to warm up.
Oh, what, his one?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like warming because she was freezing, and
Yeah.
all the others have kind of got like her clothes, and they're helping her like get dressed and stuff again. The two of you are pretty damn cold because you are absolutely soaked to the bone.
I'm gonna use elemental attunement and
Okay,
my
just,
kind
like,
of
warm up
breath,
Elora.
you know, to like heat us up.
Yeah. Okay. All of you, or just Elora?
Us two.
Okay. You were alright. You didn't get too much wet.
Okay.
You didn't fall in the water.
Elora,
so,
then.
Yeah. So
Do
you're
it
just
for
like
one
you're
girl.
using like your fiery warm hands to like
Yeah.
dry her clothes, like a tiefling
Hairdryer.
hairdryer. Yeah. Basically, like you're kind of mixing wind and fire to create hot air. Like.
Do I have... I can druidcraft like breezes. Can I make them warm breezes?
You can make them warm
It's
breezes,
for
but-
the little girl.
Oh
like,
yeah, I
just
mean
for-
it's quite pleasant. It's not enough to really dry clothes. It would
Just to
take a
keep
long
her
time.
warm.
Yeah, you can do that.
Hairdryer over here. Come on.
Yeah, tiefling hairdryer is doing the
kid,
most
though.
work to you. You are just standing there shivering.
I would like to just immediately walk up to the children playing with my weapons and just wrench them off them.
Okay, yeah, they look at you and they're just like you just take them off them.
And try as I can to get in on that heating action.
So you're like stood
I'm just,
behind
like,
Laura, like do you
jumping in.
move?
No, I'm moving, so
So
he
you
can't
can't
get
get
it.
it.
He can ask for it, but he's not getting.
Yeah.
Like,
Do we have
do
any
you-
extra blankets and stuff in our...
You could give up one of your bedrolls or a blanket, yeah.
I think I have a bedroll actually.
But you would not have that for your use. But the girl currently has your cloak wrapped
I
around her.
have enough
more for
honour
the
to let
girl.
her keep the cloak, I think. But I am still shivering.
Do we have extra
ask.
cloaks, don't we? We have extra cloaks.
I gave mine to Lady Dragonface.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
You have traveller's cloaks. That means you won't have them.
You could ask.
Due to... Not that I need the help. Evidently, the battle was won by me. Can you warm me up, please? I'm very cold.
I'm just going to make sure the little
I'm
girl's okay.
shivering as I make all these
Primarily,
gestures.
you will refer to me as Ms. Jing. My friends call me Juto.
Ms. Jing, if you wish to be known by that name, can I please have some heating?
Who won the battle?
It was my killing blow,
Who
after
did
all.
the most damage?
Ask the child who,
Who
won
did
the
the most
battle.
damage? Who weakened it?
Child?
Who took the tail?
the girl just looks around a bit like surprised, like, I didn't. I thought I saw a shark take the tail.
That was me. Hi.
She like looks a bit confused.
It's okay.
And then I saw you like flew out the sky and you like cut the beast up.
Yeah, it was teamwork.
But it was Mr. Reynard who plunged the knife into the creature's back and killed it dead.
I wrenched control of the beast. As you may have seen, I was attached to its back for most of the battle.
He did heroically like fly down the tree and then he stabbed it.
I'm not like, I want to hear it from the human's lips.
Miss Jing, you did very well. I'm whispering this. You did very well. You did plenty. I did the killing blow, of course, but yeah.
It was teamwork. Let's just leave it at that, okay? Yeah.
Teamwork led, of course, by Reynard Ferrahorn.
I'm gonna let out a breath and probably set him on fire.
I'm just gonna.
Well, maybe not
Like fully
burnt,
on fire,
like
maybe
just
like
kinda
tinged.
just a bit singy,
Yeah.
bit singed eyebrows, that kind of thing.
Not the eyebrow. I've got my moustache as well.
I'm just
It's quite.
yeah.
You got the thin moustache, right?
I've got the like a very small, but like
really?
Mr. Pringle.
very, very thin sort of Mr. Pringle.
Yeah, as you kind of mutter this and whinge and wimble and like, I'm just gonna like that and just yeah.
Like the sort
You
of-
are engulfed in like a sudden backdraft of flame. You're like, ah.
Is the small child, is she dry now?
Yeah, like with
She
the
okay?
combined efforts, like you managed to dry them. She puts on her dry clothes that they'd left at the side when they had gone swimming, and it's generally they are
she's
super
warm
thankful. She looks at you and she's just like, oh, my name is I've got to get my notes.
My immersion.
Something tells me she might be important.
No, she's not. She just looks at you and she's just like, my name is Dahlia Glimmerstein. My father works in the Carpenters Guild. I'll make sure that we'll have some payment or something for you. My father would be so grateful to know of what you've done. What are you? I know Mr. Ferrahorn's name. Who are you? Because he kept saying it.
He does say it a lot, doesn't he? Yeah. It's okay. We don't need payment.
We don't need payment.
Are you sure? Like my father, he's a well-off merchant.
It is fine.
Oh, thank you. She assumes that you're speaking for all three of you, and it's just like, oh, you're such great heroes. Thank you so much. And she takes off her coat and takes off your cloak and she gives it back. She's like, thank you, Mr. Ferrahorn. Thank you so much.
No sweat, of course, child, but make sure you spread my name.
I will. I'll tell everyone what happened. That was amazing. You just dived in. The others must have told you there was a crocodile, and you just jumped in knowing.
I knew exactly
And
what
the
to
others
do.
go to say we didn't, and then you're like, no, I knew exactly.
I knew every step of the way, all
they're like,
part of the plan.
Did you really know, Mister? We didn't tell you. Did
Yeah,
you know?
I knew it was
I'm on my horse and I'm just going.
I'm gonna druidcraft a little purple flower and put it in her hair and just tell her to be careful and not to go swimming where
Yeah, the boys are just, the other group are just like, we didn't know, we've been swimming in this lake for years, almost every summer, but that's the first time we've ever seen anything like that. It must have come from upstream somewhere.
Well,
Goody.
it's
Okay.
safe for now, but just be very careful.
Yeah, we won't be going back in there. Thank you again, thank you. And then they start making their way off.
I'm going to immediately just... I've noticed everyone has started to leave, so I'm just sort of backing away as quickly as
Do you
possible.
shrink the griffin back?
Yes.
We'll say, it was less, I'll say a minimum of 1 minute use, so you've used it 3 minutes, I think. It's just because when you get
I
to...
need to keep notes.
Yeah, I know. It's one of... I
It's
wish it was
hard,
per day. I might... Do you know what? I'm going to house rule it. I'm going to say you get 1 hour per day of the griffin.
That seems easier to
That's
keep track
way
of.
easier to keep track of. So 1 hour per day. And you guys make your way. The rest of the journey is uneventful. You make your way along the Cloud Lake. The one thing you do notice, and you two notice it more than Reynard, because every now and then you will see that the sky overhead, sometimes it's a lovely blue, but there is thick clouds. Every now and again you guys think you can see what looks like a castle built amongst the clouds themselves, but then it seems to just disappear, and it's you're not sure whether you were seeing something or whether it was there. You're not quite sure.
I'm going to point it out to Laura and, from what we saw.
Do we see any sort of
It was the
thunder
storm.
surrounding it?
Yeah.
No, you don't see any thunderstorms. It is actually quite a pleasant day. Warm breeze, enough so that actually your clothes dry and with combined heating
Does it smell like
and stuff.
burnt hair?
A little bit, not too much, but
I'm sort of trying to waft it away as best as possible.
And yeah, you guys make the rest of the journey in relative peace. just basically, just making your way as you go. It takes you, with the horses following the river lake, it does take you probably another like 3 or 4 days to reach the outskirts of where you expect to be coming up against Veldaban. Following alongside a river, the lands leading into Veldaban are rich green fields of gentle hills and cozy countryside. You see hedgerows and valleys dotting the landscape with small forests and woodlands. The snowy, grasping peak mountains create a picturesque backdrop behind the lush surroundings. The town of Veldaban sits in a small basin where the land dips just before it reaches the mountains to rise up again. Squat stone buildings with what you think are thatched roofs and solid masonry dot the town, which appears to have no wall. Instead, 3 stone watchtowers are scattered throughout the basin and appear to look over the various worked fields. You guys are still quite far away. You're kind of at the edge of this valley where it begins to drop down, and you can see this kind of town in the distance. There is little cloud in the air, which is what first raises your suspicions when a large shadow falls over the town itself. Looking up, you see clear blue sky blocked by the silhouette of the largest creature you have ever seen. With a wingspan that nearly covers the entire town, talons the size of watchtowers, and a beak that appears as though it could rip a galleon in half, the bird soars in a circle above the town before flying off towards the mountains, dipping behind some of its tallest peaks. And you kind of watch this scene play out as it flies off as you're looking from the top of this valley.
I don't want to see that ever again. Ever.
Laura, being a druid, you're almost certain it is not a natural beast.
Okay.
The roke is probably not an actual natural animal. It's probably a magical creature like a griffin or like other similar creatures like manticores. It's probably to grow to that size, magic must be involved.
I don't suppose I can hunter's mark it from here.
Human.
But you have, if you've got like the beast sense and stuff like that, you can use your primeval awareness, I think.
Primeval awareness.
Which is like you can sense stuff within a mile.
So is that something you cast when you want to know where it is?
Or like to get a general lay of the land, I think, primeval awareness. It's like you can know how many creatures are in the area and how many numbers they travel in and stuff like that.
Human, you are a supposed expert in beasts.
Of course.
Have you ever fought something of that size?
No. Can't say I have, but I've fought many a beast that culminated. If you put them together, they are that size. Does that count?
Do you know anything of this beast since you're here for your expertise?
I know the beast is a roke.
Let me look at my notes.
I know that it's very large. Very large. You may have seen it, in fact. It's big.
It has some magic to it.
Laura, what do you know?
That's all I know, in addition to the fact that it's just too big and I don't want to see it again.
Is this natural? Are they naturally
No.
this big? No.
Well, it's not natural.
So you know more than the expert.
Well, I don't think any of us have encountered this before.
Do you know anything about this beast?
I come from the desert.
Well, here we go then. We're the
Anyway,
experts to you.
It's okay though. Do I see any?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Let's get along.
Are there any like eagles and stuff flying about that we see?
Give me a perception check. You can all make perception checks.
Oh, okay.
Natural at 20.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
26.
What's your bonus with the natural 20?
I got,
22.
14, but 20 with my perception.
Oh, 20 million. You all did very, very well. So, you begin to kind of, those of you with elven vision and those of you with normal vision just begin to scout the landscape. And you do notice a few things. The first thing is, I will give you this, which is a map of the layout of the town itself.
Okay.
So the kind of octagonal shapes of these stone watchtowers you can see dotted. The lines represent fields, like farming fields. There's a few kind of trees, and you can see a scattering of small buildings with what appears to be sort of like a large town square. There's a couple of things you notice. One, yes, there are, without a doubt, some giant eagles flying around the mountains much further beyond Veldaban.
That way?
Yes.
So that's north?
Yes.
Okay.
They don't appear to be near the town, but they are definitely kind of flying around the mountain area. The other thing you notice is only 2 of the fields. In fact, you can only really see it on the closest one. You can see a small number of very tiny figures moving around, working the fields, like farmers, that sort of thing, ploughing it, pulling up, vegetables, that sort of thing. And you don't really see a lot of other life. You don't really see a lot of people moving around. You don't see anybody on the road, any travellers, that sort of thing. The one thing you do know, Tis, is there are definitely some strange things. Some of the buildings look like that they've kind of got holes in them. There are some large parts of dirt that have been torn up. It looks like something maybe raked through them, like a large wedge-shaped device or something has torn up part of the earth. It looks like they've been filled in or at least partially repaired, but not completely. And that's pretty much what you can see.
Okay.
So we got told. Was Ethane the dwarven wizard was the person that
he was like a local spokesperson? Yeah, he was the one that the
person
council was working with.
So we should try and find. I think we should try and find Ethane. Because yes, you are the size of a tree, well not.
So this Dahlia Glimmerstein that we say, the daughter of the carpenter, is a carpenter in this town?
No, she was from Townsville.
Guild.
Like a local sort of small village near Townsville.
Fine, if Thane seems like the right choice.
Yes, he might be able to fill us in a bit more on what exactly has been happening here, and if there's any areas that we should look at. So I think we should find this dwarven wizard.
However, if we do believe that this village is being threatened by the Broken Sky, it is possible that we will be recognized by Broken Sky agents.
We may, but we don't have another way of disguising ourselves, really.
I'm unrecognizable.
You spread tales of your name everywhere.
Not to the Broken Sky.
Your first introduction to me was, you may have heard of me, I am the legendary
From the cries
Roger
But he hasn't
Fudgehelm or something.
The cries of babes and the screams of women, yes.
The difference being is that he hasn't angered the Broken Sky in the past, whereas we have. That is why they know us.
But if he is associated with us...
yeah, it's true.
They don't know I'm associated with you. I wouldn't normally want to be.
Walking into town might indicate that you are.
I could walk separately to you is what I'm getting at.
That is the best idea you have had in the last few days.
Thank you.
Carry on.
I would like, in that case, to ideally go into the town on my own, separated from the other two, to try and seek this Ethane.
Okay. What are the two of you? Are you going to kind of wait off in the distance?
I think if we wait, maybe for...
We did get clothing from Enoran that makes us sort of...
It makes you harder to recognise in crowds. When you're kind of on your own, it's it's a very minor enchantment that just helps you kind of blend in with a crowd.
Look very busy.
Yeah, and it doesn't look very busy. So you guys are just going to wait off to the side for a bit?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys maybe take refuge in this copse of trees or something like that. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, on that side. Sure. And Reynard will begin making his way towards the town. The first thing is, as you kind of draw closer to the first watchtower, you can see that there is at least one figure kind of looking out. It's a human, kind of looking out, wearing sort of traveller's cloak, leather armour. And as you draw closer, he kind of calls out, he's like, "Oi, mate, what are you doing?"
I am here investigating the troubles that you have come under as a result of this rogue. I am looking for Ethane, the dwarven wizard.
He looks down at you. He's like, well, the rogue's just flying around. It's not causing any trouble anymore. If you're looking some wizard fella, yeah, he might be in town, but don't know. I think several of them have had to bugger off somewhere.
And you know more than this.
Well, I know, mate. I'm just a guard. What do you want? He looks down and he's just like, look, if you want, I'll walk with you into town. I can take you to the inn.
That sounds fine.
All right, yeah. And he hops down. He just kind of comes down these stairs.
Okay.
And he moves over to you. And you see him. He's kind of a tall fellow. He's got a sword on his hip and a bow over his shoulder. He's like, all right, come on, follow me.
Okay.
What's your business? So you just come? Who sent you? Who asked you to look into the town?
We. Oh.
Who's we?
Me and my crossbow. Wilhelm, of course.
Give me a deception check.
Okay, 12, and my deception is That's 20 in total.
Okay, actually, like you kind of, he's like, come on, don't be stupid. You've given your crossbow a name.
Of course I have. It served me well in my adventures.
That's funny. Oh, are you some sort of adventurer?
Of course. Can you not tell from my stunning visage?
Yeah, I guess so. So what you sent to the town to because you heard about the roke or something?
Yes, of course.
Oh,
You must
right.
be troubled by this beast. It's huge.
He's like, well, it's kind of, it's flown around a bit. It's killed some horses. That's about it.
You do not treasure these horses?
Nah, get more horses, can't we? Breed them.
I suppose. I would still like to talk to Ithane.
All right, yeah. I don't know about Ithane. As you said, he's a dwarf wizard.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I think I do know the bloke. Yeah, I think he's gone off. He's gone off into the mountains. Something. I don't know. Anyway, they'll know more at the tavern. Anyway.
Thank you, I suppose.
And he leads you in. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Ooh. 4, so that's 10.
You two can give me a perception check as well.
10 in total.
Okay, that's fine.
26.
26. Elora, you notice, maybe you watch as Reynard, you watch Reynard stop, talk to the tower, this guy comes out and they start walking towards the town. About 5 minutes after they leave, a hawk leaves the tower for the town. You are taken into the town and you can see that Voban is pretty dead. Like you pass another watchtower on the other side of the river where you can see another kind of man looking out, kind of peering around. Maybe looks like half elf, kind of slightly pointed ears.
Okay.
And you walk around. There's a couple of dwarves. You can see them kind of moving to and from buildings. You saw a few in the fields farming out in the fields. But generally, it looks like a really dead, dreary town. Nobody's smiling. Everybody looks just a bit miserable. But this guard, who calls himself Roger, he just leads you to the tavern, which you can see outside there is a mountain with the name of the tavern, which is called the Valley Brew Lodge. And he leads you to it. He's just like, yeah, you want to go in here, mate? They might know about your wizard friend or something.
Okay.
I don't know what you've wasted your time, to be honest. I'd get a beer and then leave if I was you. There's nothing going on here. Rubbish. It's shit. Shit town.
I must say, this is a shit town.
It is. Oh, it's terrible.
There must be reasons you are so unhappy.
It's just miserable dwarves, isn't it? They're always miserable.
Okay.
I hate them. They're boring.
Fair enough, and I'll head into the
Okay.
tavern in that case.
Perfect.
So naive.
What are you two doing? It's about 5. It's now been probably 10 minutes.
Miss Elora, I do not like this. He is a fool.
I don't think we can leave him on his own much longer.
I think this town is dangerous. I think it is in league with the Broken Sky somehow.
Yes, but it's still something that we have to investigate, so how do we get in without being noticed? We need to somehow...
I can go invisible.
Yeah.
I will remind you as well, your wild shapes, you can still turn into smaller creatures. You don't have to be big things. You can be a sparrow or a weasel if you want to.
Weasel!
Would we have had a short rest on our
You've
travels?
had 4 days. You've had long rests.
Oh, yeah.
That's the point.
Can I get my hit
you've got all your hit points. You've got all your things
back?
back.
Oh, lovely, lovely stuff.
Absolutely. So yeah, you get all your hit points back, Tom, and you get all your spell slots back as well. You are basically at that
My key
reset.
points.
You had 4 days on the road where you didn't have any trouble, basically.
Where we just weren't talking to each other.
Well, Elora was trying
was
to keep the
talking.
peace. Yeah, Reynard was probably doing a lot of talking.
I was in my happy place.
I borrow an eraser.
Okay.
Thank you.
See, Kim is being nice to Tom.
Yeah.
Juto is definitely not being nice to Reynard.
Okay, thank you.
So, are the two of you going to try and make your way into the town?
I would like to cast invisibility,
Okay. Yeah.
please.
Yeah, it won't take you long. From where you are, it'll take you maybe 30 minutes to get into town proper. Even not that, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be invisible. Elora,
Yeah, I'll turn into a small bird.
you turn into a sparrow or something, like a little valley sparrow.
Small.
Hummingbird, maybe.
Oh, little hummingbird.
A little pink Elora hummingbird.
Is that normal for this valley, though?
You might come across
what's
people that
normal,
know. A
but-
sparrow would be very
Yeah,
normal.
let's do that then.
Like that kind of thing. All right, so
A
you fly
rope
off.
would be normal at this point.
Reynard, you enter the tavern. It's a pretty miserable looking tavern. Kind of, most of the tables are pretty dusty, well used. You can see inside there's a group of about 3 humans, a half elf, and a gnome, all wearing sort of like cloaks. And they're sat around a table eating a meal. Looks like chicken, some bread, and some cheese. Just kind of munching away, chatting quietly with each other. As you walk in, they definitely all kind of turn, look at you in that kind of, you've walked into a country pub that maybe you shouldn't have kind of
You're not
way.
from round here.
You're not from round here, right? They kind of look at you, but then they just go back to their meal. One of them kind of nods at you. And behind the bar, there is a dwarf woman. She's kind of got like ringleted, kind of like looped, kind of like braided hair, quite red, fiery hair. She looks maybe middle-aged sort of thing. Kind of like loose top, kind of like tavern sort of like apron on. And she's cleaning a glass. She looks kind of a bit worn, a bit tired. With your passive perception, you notice she's got a bit of a bruised eye. And she's just kind of cleaning a glass, and she's like, "Hello there, sir. How can I help?"
Oh, of course.
I've got to get my dwarf.
That's Finny. That's nice.
Hey, it's Glaswegian. Hey, Glaswegian. Hello. What can I do? Greyfriars, Bobby.
There you go.
Hello there, sir. How can I help?
I will, of course, have a glass of your finest homebrew and one for the entire tavern.
Oh, God.
She looks at you. Her eyes go a bit wide, like, see what I've got, eh? One for everyone, you said.
Of course.
Very well, sir. And like the travellers kind of turn around and they're like, "Oh, that's very kind of you, mate. Very nice. Generous chap like you coming in here. It's brightened up our day."
"'Tis I. You may have heard of me. Reynard Ferrahorn, perhaps."
Reynard Ferrahorn. And the gnome kind of chirps up. He's like, I remember the name of Ferrahorn. Nobles, I think, from Tavern. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Ah, yes, I know the family name. Can't say I've heard of you. Didn't you have an uncle, or didn't you have, like, wasn't there a member of the family who was a hunter or something?
Yes, that's true. One of my greatest heroes, and needless to say, I match his skill, if not surpass.
Oh, well, sir, I'm glad that you've arrived in the town. I'm afraid there's not much going on around here unless you count an annoying bird in the sky.
An annoying bird, you say? It's huge. Surely this causes problems for you.
Ah, well, it's fine. Not too much of a problem at all. And as you see that, you can see a couple of the other humans are, like, a bit off. Like, they're kind of, like, casting glances. You can see one of them kind of moves his hand under the table. The dwarf woman comes out with a tray, and you can see, like, not the nicest glasses in the world, but a pretty frosty-looking beer. She kind of brings them out. She's like, there's one for you, sir. And she puts it on the bar. She takes a table over. Give me an insight check.
Okay.
What's the name of the tavern?
The Valley
Brew
Brew Lodge. Look, I've got a lot of notes.
Where's insight?
Insight.
Okay, so it's not my...
It's not proficient.
Next to it, then there's...
It's just your wisdom modifier.
Yeah.
Okay, so 11.
11. Yeah, I mean, she's just like, she kind of carries these glasses over, like gives one out each. The gnome picks it up and is like, delicious. Ah, marvellous. And the human who was talking to you picks his up. He's just like, oh, yeah, it's not a big deal after all. Just some bird, innit? Just flying around. Might pick up a horse or something. Problem for a stable boy. What are you doing here, sir? And he, like, puts his glass on the table.
I am just a roaming adventurer looking for quarries, looking for targets, and here to, of course, increase my reputation, spread my fame across the lands.
Oh, really? What, a marksman are you, sir? By judging by that fine bow on your back.
Oh, this fine bow, of course. I'm glad you noticed it. Wilhelm has killed many a beast.
Oh, it's a very... Would you mind? And he kind of stands up and he walks over to you like, I just happen to be an admirer of such things, a fine weapon like that. May I?
I'm afraid not. It's very precious to me.
Oh, sir, please, you're in a country town. A famed adventurer like you has nothing to fear from a humble guard like myself.
No, but I've purchased your drinks and you are yet to drink.
Oh, you're too right. Why don't you come and sit with us?
Of course. And I go over,
and then
swish the table clean.
You just like...
Just the area around me so I can slam my mug down, sit down next to them.
Okay. So their table, which was covered in food that they were eating, you just go over it and all these plates get knocked over.
Well, I didn't. Okay, all right. I need to learn this game. Just the area where I'd like to slam my...
It's a character.
Okay, yeah.
It's like you kind of like knock a few plates kind of go scattering. And the guy who was talking to you basically stands right behind you. And you now get the sense actually something's wrong. You kind of pick it up on it. And you just feel a hand kind of on your shoulder. He's like, oh, now, we'd love to have a drink with you, mate, but I do think I need to go and just let my commanding officer know that we've got such a fine adventurer in our midst. You don't mind sitting here with the boys for a quick drink, do you?
Don't suppose I could join you?
No,
I'd
no,
love to meet-
you stay here and have a drink with my friends. It's fine, I'll be back in just a moment.
Okay then. Carry on.
And he gets up and leaves. The dwarf woman kind of hurriedly kind of comes over. It looked like she maybe went behind the bar for a moment. She comes over and she's just like, I'm so sorry, dears. You've got all your food all spilled over the place here. And she hands out like loads of like cloth napkins and she thrusts one into your hands. It's like, oh, you're all dirty there. And she like puts your hand towards your chest to like try and wipe yourself up. There's not really much there, like a little bit of spilt beer, but not too much. And then she kind of like backs off. And you can see her kind of really moving to the back of the tavern now.
Can I roll for perception to see if I notice?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh. 10 with perception is 16.
Yeah.
So do I notice?
Just glancing down at this napkin, there is writing hidden in amongst the folds. Like she's quickly written something. You're not quite sure with what, but it looks like hastily written. But the other thing you notice is there's the half-elf and the human who kind of sat next to you on this like kind of squared table. You notice that one of them has a hand crossbow pointed directly at you from underneath the table. The other has a hand on a short blade by his side. And they're just like, they just nod and smile at you. One of them picks up a drink.
Can't help but notice the crossbow there, sir. There's no need for any of this. I am just here to entertain. I've bought you drinks.
As you kind of say that, the one who had his hand on the blade kind of pulls it from his sheath, puts his hand on the table. He's just like, we know, but there is a need for it. I suggest you don't say too much more.
Where are we?
You guys were still like a good 10 minutes behind, so this is all kind of been exchanging. You're kind of invisibly making your way through the town, kind of making your way. You see the same things Reynard did, so you see a few dwarves and things like that. The little sparrow probably can move a bit quicker. Actually, no, because you've got quite fast movement.
Yeah.
So yeah, the two of you are kind of
45.
keeping pace with each other. I'd say you're probably a few minutes away at this point. It depends on what Reynard does next. What does Reynard do at this point?
He grabs his crossbow.
So
He slams it onto the desk as well.
Okay.
He doesn't shoot it, he just points it as well.
Okay, so what that happens then is... No, it's fine. Oh, did I not?
Did you read what was on
Oh, that's why.
Huh?
You didn't read.
I didn't read the note, no, but I just wanted... I didn't have time
So-
to read the note.
What happens is one of them, you can see that like the guy with the crossbow now pulls it out onto the table. The other two, the gnome and the other human, pull hand crossbows pointed out at you as well. So you now have like, you're pointing one at the guy that was talking to you, and now you've got three pointed at you. The guy just looks at you, and he is going to hold up his hand. I suggest you put that thing on the floor, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Natural one.
Okay. You feel like as he moves his hand, you can see on the back of his hand a symbol. He's wearing gloves, but a symbol kind of glows through, and it is of a cloud broken by a thunderbolt. And as he waves his hand, you're just like, that is a great idea. And you're just like, oh, yep. And you put your crossbow on the ground and then stand back up.
Okay.
Like without any will of you're just like, yeah, that's a great idea.
I suppose I don't know what this symbol...
You don't know what the symbol means, but you kind of instantly realise that they've cast a spell, that they've done some sort of magic on you to make you drop your bow. You didn't want to do that.
I see.
So they've used magic to influence your mind. And at this point, they kind of, two of them stand up, and they're just like, stay there, don't say a word until the captain comes back. If you cooperate, nothing's going to happen to you. We don't know who you are or why you're here. We're going to ask you some questions. We're going to lock you up for a bit, and then we'll leave you on your way. If you're not here to disrupt what we're doing, we'll let you go. Sound reasonable?
It sounds more than reasonable.
Good.
I shall stay and enjoy all of the drinks
You've
I
still got your
purchased.
You just like they kind of like the gnome is like he just like cackles to himself, and you can glance out the corner of your eye like this dwarf woman is like peering, like watching, not very unsure of what to do. You guys basically start making your way. Invisible Juto, you see a human man wearing a traveler's cloak, and you can now see like a sword on his belt, and a bunch of like, you know, hand crossbow and things like that, walking with another man who's wearing breastplate, with a cloak kind of thrown over his shoulder, ragged, scarred, looks quite like a grizzled mercenary, and they are basically about to move into the tavern as you guys are coming up behind them. Bursting through the door a few minutes later, the man that you were talking to originally, and then this other man who's armoured, and he kind of looks over. Is this the man that you told me about? This is him, sir. This is our intrepid adventurer who's stopped by Velderman to investigate the bird.
Finally, someone's heard of me!
Can I slip in as
Yeah,
they open the door?
I'm assuming that you guys slip in. The sparrow kind of flitters in as well. And you guys are currently stood at the back kind of watching this. You're perched up in the rafters like as this little tiny bird. You there, stand up.
I suppose I stand up.
Okay. Who sent you?
I sent myself.
Give me a deception check.
14 and my deception.
You had your bonus?
No, that's 22.
22.
Again.
Why on earth would you come to this miserable place out of nowhere on your own?
I just saw how unhappy your people looked. I felt like they need some tales in their lives, and what am I if not a tale spreader?
The gnome
spreader.
The gnome kind of chirps up. He's just like, I know that his family is from Talis Val, minor merchants. Perhaps somebody of use, a good hostage, perhaps, sir? And the captain looks around. He's like, yes, possibly.
A hostage? Why would you need a hostage?
That's none of your concern. It's a fine-looking bird. Yes, disarm the man, haul him to the mines. We'll keep him there temporarily with the rest of the dwarves. The rest of you get back on guard duty. This wouldn't have happened if you just let him wander into the place. And he just kind of casts his eye around, just waves his hand, and you feel like two of the men go to grab your arms and push them behind your back.
I would like to, as fast as possible, grab a mug from the table.
And like, smash it into his face.
Oh, good God.
Perfect. It takes them by surprise. Make me just roll, but use your strength. So add D20 plus your strength modifier.
7.
7. They are surprised, so you have an advantage, so you can roll a D20 twice.
19.
Bam! Just smashes glass into his face. Roll a D4 and add your strength modifier. Also, can somebody tell me the time?
3.
7:30.
Okay, perfect. 7 points.
Sorry, no, 3. I rolled a 3, so
3 plus 3 plus your dex, your strength mod. Sorry, so 5.
Oh, no, I rolled a 1.
Oh, you rolled a 1.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it's
Okay.
three
So the
altogether.
mug just like smashes into the guy who was going to grab your face. He's like, ah! And you get your arm free for a moment. Your scimitar is still on your belt, but your crossbow's on the ground.
Okay.
And it's instantly like, man, seize him! We're going to have everybody roll initiative.
God damn it.
What if people don't want to do anything, just want him to get
Oh,
imprisoned?
no. That's 10. I've got.
That's fine. You can do that. And then he's going to have a combat with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dudes.
They
Hold
might
on.
just imprison him, it's fine.
I feel like I have an advantage to initiative.
You do, yes, because you're ranger stuff.
So can I roll again?
Yes, you roll twice.
Okay, 16.
So we've got Reynard, Elora, Juto.
Both fights we've got into. It's just
So, Reynard, what was your initiative roll?
16.
Elora,
13.
Juto,
14.
and then I need to roll for many
You're on
things.
your own, kiddo.
That's not too
They
bad.
don't know we're here yet, so
You guys have absolutely the element of surprise.
if you do anything, it will.
Okay, Reynard,
that's
you
what
are
I'm
actually
not
going
doing.
first. You take them completely by surprise.
So I'm surrounded by these people.
So
pretty
you've
much.
got one next to you who's kind of clutching his face, one on the other side of you. There is a gnome and another human on the other side of the table, so kind of like a good 5, maybe 10 feet away from you. And then you've got the captain and this other guy right by the door who've just stepped into the bar, basically.
And they are all
I'll tell you what.
attacking me.
Oh yeah. Well, they look like they're about to try and subdue you. I will quickly just sketch out a quick bar. So we'll have like, and then there's like.
Watch as the theatre of imagination comes alive.
So you got like the door to the bar. This is the main door here. There's like a bunch of tables, kind of like this. You will kind of, so where's your guy? Pass him here. So you're kind of about here. Where are all my guys? I got a lot of guys. I got me a lot of guys. I got a lot of guys.
Men, 2 arms.
I have so many of these ghouls that they are just my generic enemy for everything. So you've got like 2 like that, and then you've got, I'll put the captain will be this guy, because he looks cool. And then I'll use another ghoul.
Cool. He looks like a tiny ghoul.
And then Juto, you're currently like in this corner, and then Laura, you're kind of next to Juto. And then the dwarf woman is kind of at the door by the bar. So we'll put that. So you've got a rough idea of your placement. That's not accurate in terms of like spacing and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you've got 2 on either side of you, one kind of clutching his face, which is now full of glass.
Which one?
This one.
Brilliant. I think I get I get escape the horde, so I can I have an advantage.
They have disadvantage to attack you if you move away from them. Absolutely.
I would like to. So he is directly next to the bar.
Yes.
I'd like to vault myself over him as best as possible, over the bar, and then hopefully end up behind the bar.
Perfect. That is going to be an acrobatics check.
5, and my acrobatics is... Oh, acrobatics, I don't have that, so...
So it's just
9 in total.
So you kind of go to roll over him, but he kind of like is stumbled. He's confused at what you're doing. You don't manage to kind of vault over him. You kind of awkwardly hug, kind of like move around him. He's still going to get an attack against you. If you had succeeded, you would have just completely vaulted over him.
Yeah.
You do get behind the bar, but as you're going, he's going to try and swipe, but he has disadvantage. In fact, both of them are going to get attacks with disadvantage against you. So the first guy misses. You kind of like, as you kind of dodge and roll underneath him, like this awkward hug, he can't quite bring his sword to bear, so he kind of avoids it. The second guy also misses. He goes to swing at you, but he's still got glass in his face, and you manage to basically leap behind the bar. You go to pull out Wilhelm. It's still on the floor beneath the table where you were.
I've got my scimitar.
You do have your scimitar though. So that was your movement, I would say.
Can I
That was your movement.
just glance a desperate look at the dwarven woman, just to figure out? I can speak Dwarvish, and there's no dwarves other than her.
No. Do you want to say something?
I'd like to say something in Dwarvish to her.
Sure.
Just simply, what's the problem? And
she looks at you, and in Dwarven, she just is like, they've taken over the town. They're gonna kill everyone. And she's just like, she looks panicked. Like the fact that you've attacked them, like she doesn't quite know what to do.
So look, yay or nay, shoot, kill.
That's all you managed to get out, because this is about all happening in 6 seconds. So what else would you like to do? You have your action and your bonus action, and I believe your scimitar is a bonus action to activate that.
I want to hold my scimitar into the air and just mutter the word, Ferrohorn.
Oh, for God's sake.
Okay. And then are you going to let go of it?
No.
Okay, so you just say that, and you see the brightness kind of goes.
Not quite. More like nothing actually happens.
Okay, so there you go. Nothing happens.
And that's it.
Okay, and that's what you want to do?
That's my turn.
Okay, perfect.
I'm very confused.
The guys around here all turn around. The one kind of clutching glass in his face is like, "You pissing bastard! I'm going to murder you!"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Ah!" The others all kind of like look around at each other, kind of shrug. Yes, I think that's what. Yeah. So these two are going to kind of back off, and they're just going to. They pull out crossbows and they just hold them up to you. They're not quite shooting there yet. This guy is like runs forward, and you can see him like with his face. And in his hand begins to crackle with lightning as this symbol on his glove begins to glow. And he's going to try and reach over the bar to try and grab you. You have a bit of cover against this attack. So you don't need to roll anything. However, you roll a natural 1. So like he's got this glass in his face. He goes to reach over to the bar, not quite realizing that like there's a bunch of stuff in the way, and his hand actually touches like a metal railing, and he's like, ah, fuck, and he's kind of like stumbles backwards, completely stunned by this kind of thing that's just happened to him. You're kind of like stood at the back, just trying to avoid the attack. The other one, who was the guy speaking to you before, just raises a hand crossbow. He's like, look, give it up. You're outnumbered, mate. Just surrender now. We won't beat you to death. Drop the sword. And that's all they say. Juto.
The commander in front of me, is he...
You would have just seen the symbol, which is the Broken Sky symbol glow as well.
But the dude in front of me...
Mm-hmm. He's wearing like a breastplate.
Right here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is he wearing a cloak or anything?
Yes.
Okay. Can I hold action?
Mm-hmm.
That if he moves to harm Raymond, I'm just going to
Raymond?
stand...
Who's Raymond?
Everyone loves Raymond.
I don't care.
Yeah.
The dude, the idiot,
Raymond
fool,
is funny.
the
yeah.
human.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm just gonna stand on his cloak so he kind of like
Yeah. Perfect.
falls backwards.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
you're
like,
just going to put all your weight onto his cloak, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say that's an attack, so it's not going to break invisibility.
Yeah.
You're just standing on his cloak.
Yeah.
It's his fault if it's like draped.
I'm not going to attack anyone. I just want to
Okay,
see
you're
how
just
this
gonna see how this
unfolds,
plays out.
but
Okay.
I want to actively try and make sure.
Yeah,
Raymond's
Laura.
I'm not going to attack.
Would you like to ready an action?
No, because I don't want to attack
Just poop on
someone when it's not.
So they slip in it.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so you're doing nothing. The captain will, he's like, you damn fool, and he points at the one with glass in his face. Sort yourself out, man. This is some foolish, foppish noble, and you're making a fool of yourself in our organization. And he like shrugs. He points a finger at you. He's like, surrender now, and then he takes a step forward, and then that's when you're like, and he just, and he like basically stumbles, and like his words are just cut short as he kind of like fumbles and drops to the floor. You basically like knock him prone as he kind of like his feet come out from under him, and he's like pulls the cloak. It comes free under your boot. He's like, and that's all he can do because that was basically his turn. He was going to do something. Reynard, what would you like to do?
So he doesn't actually notice the...
No, he kind of like, he's surprised. Like he's now looking around. But yeah, in fact, actually, give me a stealth with an advantage. Because you are basically invisible. It's just whether you make noise. Yeah, it's not going to see. I had disadvantage,
11.
so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he's like looking desperately around,
just
looking for what, he's looking for what happened.
Do I actually know that they're there?
No.
Probably not.
You can give me a perception check,
Okay.
but a disadvantage.
10... 18, so I take the 10. 16.
The only thing you really notice is there is a purple sparrow sat up in the rafters watching.
And would I recognise that?
It's very unusual to see a purple fucking sparrow, that's for sure.
Well, I've already seen
and
a
you've
purple
seen her
shark.
you've seen her transform.
But where did you see the purple shark?
True. All right, okay.
You can't be that dumb, Raymond.
I would say that you would be able to make the connection.
Okay.
You can't be as dumb as Cam Buckler.
No, you are smarter than Cam Buckland. Cam Buckland wouldn't know, but you are smarter than Cam.
So my sword is a bonus action. It doesn't.
I believe it is a bonus action to activate.
I want to yell Farahorn again.
Okay. Does it work this time?
It doesn't work this time.
Okay.
And I just like put it back, just like in obviously like
Frustration.
frustrated. Yeah, like I don't know why it's happened. The magic sword should have worked. I will simply say, you may feel you have outnumbered me, but know this: we outnumber you.
Oh, you
They like the men look around at each other. They're like, "What are you talking about? There's one of you. Drop this." Like, did you drop the sword or put it away?
I just put it away.
Okay. They're like, "Put your weapon on the ground now." The one who's like clutching his face has like stumbled back and is just like pulling his bow out now. He's just like, "Rah."
Did I
Following
retrieve
orders.
my net, perchance?
No.
No.
Oh god, I lost my net already?
You've lost your net already. They're quite easy to get another one if you can find
it
the
was a nice
town or
net,
something.
though.
It was a nice net.
It was a nice.
Did you have some special memories with it or something?
Wrap myself up with it every now and then.
Lanky.
These two are just gonna. This one is gonna step forward, and he's just.
So
he
is he
hasn't got his weapon out. He's just like, mate, come on. You're outnumbered. Don't try and pull us any nonsense. We know that it's just you. It's you and your crossbow, which is on the ground. Just give it up, mate.
You know what? Fine. You've got me.
Hop over the bar.
Okay, I'm going to leap over the bar.
Oh God.
Okay.
So there's
Drop
three
kick him in
here.
the face. Yeah.
I want to swing kick as many of these people as I can around the corner.
Okay. So kind of almost like a capoeira break dance, like, okay, sure, give me a, you're going to make this with a disadvantage against each target, because you're not really an unarmed fighter.
TV's off.
TV. Can you make me it's going to be a strength-based attack. Oh no, you can use dex, actually.
Natural 20.
It is with disadvantage, technically.
Damn it!
And you have to do it against each
17.
one. Right.
So 17 against.
Plus dex is 3, so that's it. So the next one, do it for the next one.
Plus 4 for dex.
Yep, so
21.
21, easy. Do it for the next one,
That's 21 for him.
disadvantage.
5. It's not going to be that then.
No.
So then
There's
9,
9, no.
10, and 10 again. So
But with your dex
What's your
bonus is
bonus?
14.
14.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So actually, that
So
is...
21, 9, 14.
So the middle one ducks, but your kick, actually, it doesn't really do enough damage. You're not like a trained martial artist,
just wanna-
but it's enough to kind of like knock them, like basically stumble them back and completely take them by surprise. You actually knock the crossbows out of their hand, like they're kind of holding their crossbows out and you just like BAM! And their crossbows go flying out of their hands. So they were not expecting you to do this. So you kind of like sweep kick these guys, sending their bows out. This guy is basically pulling himself up to the stand up. And it's at this point that actually, like, you swing kick and you land on the other side. I'm kind of pushing these guys back a little bit as you do that. And it's at this point the sword just flies out of your belt on its own. Like, it just woof, and like launches up into the air and starts moving around. It doesn't attack anybody, but it's now just like flying through the air.
What's the word? Okay.
You don't know. It seems to be reacting to something.
Sword. Do something.
Okay, that's what you say. Juto, what would you like to do?
I didn't say any words.
No.
Okay.
Oh God! Why can't you just surrender?
You two would actually notice, because the fight's going to be drawn on Thingy. He's saying, like, sword, do something. You can actually see the dwarf woman in the background. She's crouched down, but she's moving her fingers and muttering under her breath.
Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna.
And I would say you still feel the weight of your sword at your side.
Oh,
I thought it was-
interesting.
What?
You still feel like, it feels like your sword's still at your side, but you can see it dancing, flying through the air.
Can I move, like
Yeah,
stealthily?
you can move wherever you want.
over here, so I'm next to the dwarf woman behind the bar.
Okay,
And
I mean,
then-
you're invisible and there's enough of cacophony going on that they're not going to notice you.
So
And
I
do you
can
wanna
I
do
can
anything?
clearly see that she's conjured some kind of spiritual weapon.
Well, as she's doing it, you can make an Arcana check for me.
Would you recognise it from something that Cam would do?
Why, that's what this Arcana check is for.
12.
12. You're familiar enough. It looks more like, now that you look at it, you can see that the part where it looks like the sword's come off of Ferrohorn's side, it looks like there's still something there, like light is distorted around it, and you kind of remember that Cam can often create images out of like magic, and it looks like she might be doing that, like maybe kind of like hiding the sword on his belt, but then making a fake sword kind of fly around the air. But she looks like she's cowering, like she's like kind of like doing this, but she's kind of like ooh, doing a bit of magic under her breath.
I'd like to hold action.
Okay.
That if they.
You're too unpredictable. God damn it.
I'm sorry.
That was great. I just don't know what to do.
If they try to hurt him in a way that isn't like they're trying to restrain him, so if they're actually trying to kill him,
then you'll do something.
then I will attack.
Okay, but otherwise you're just going to stand down. Elora, doing anything? Nope, just going to stay down. Okay.
I don't know what to do.
These guys, like, looking at the sword, they're confused. They're going to try and dogpile on you. They're basically like, these three guys all just rush in and they're going to try and beat you down. They look like they're trying to they're not trying to kill him. They look like they're trying to beat him, but actually physically knock him out.
Yeah, that's not going to ready.
No. 22. Does that hit you?
More than my armor class, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, it hits.
7 and then 13. So 2 of them you manage to kick and fight them off but one of them gets a solid bam around your jaw.
Okay. The jaw.
You're gonna take 3 points of damage as this fist just bam knocks you around the jaw.
Oh, I've been bitten by worse.
These 2 are gonna step forward, seeing that you're gonna resist arrest. One of them is gonna hold up his hand. You see the symbol glow, and he's just gonna go. It's the gnome. He's like, I suggest you surrender to us peacefully and come exactly as we tell you. You're gonna need to give me a wisdom saving throw.
A 19, and my wisdom is 2. So
Easily enough. You feel this kind of him trying to you're like, is that a good idea? No, it's not. No, they want me to surrender. He's using magic again.
Okay.
And that is all they're going to do.
I need some indication that there are people with me so I can try and do that whole...
You've already seen a
You
purple
know
sparrow.
I'm here.
No, I mean, so they have an indication there's other people around because I've already tried to convince them that we
It's just
outnumber
no one.
them.
Oh,
And they're just
we are
never
not
gonna believe
interested.
that.
Also, technically, you don't outnumber them.
No, we
But they
don't.
won't know
There's
that's a
6
bit.
and there's 3 of you.
That's-
Even with those 2, you're still outnumbered.
Okay.
But for the time being, it looks like they're not taking you... They're like, oh, this guy's being an asshole, but they're not they don't think there's some big attack.
But you know that we're in the room and we are there.
Or at least
You know that
Elora's in the
Elora's
room.
there, yeah.
Okay.
And your sword, and now that you kind of realise it, your sword's still on your belt, but there is something which is obscuring it, and the one flying around is not yours. It's slightly different.
So I could still use my one.
If you want to try, yeah. It's your sword. You decide when you use it.
I know, that's the problem.
What would your character
What would your character do, Tom? That's the main thing. These guys are actively trying to beat you as well now. They're actually trying to land punches and knock you out.
Well, naturally I'm trying to avoid them from hitting my face.
And the hair.
Oh yeah,
And the
no,
hair.
there was a proper jaw clocker.
I would like to yell stop
Act out.
and say, oh, okay, I've just been punched in the face. No, stop! That symbol on your hand. Had I have known, well, I would have approached this situation very differently.
What are you talking about?
The symbol, the cloud, lightning thing?
What about it?
Know that I am one of you.
Oh my god!
Deception with disadvantage.
Uh-oh. 8. 16.
Okay. He looks, he's just don't eat. He's just it's we have known each other, we are of close brotherhood. You are not one, no.
The broken sky.
He eyes you, and the captain is just he's finally pulled his throat free. He's just enough! Clearly you know who we are, but you are not one of us. Either surrender, or, and he raises his hand, and you see lightning begin to crackle. I will fry you where you stand.
I don't really have much of a choice, do I?
You don't know. You can make an Arcana check to see if you recognise what kind of magic you might be trying to conjure. Yes.
Intelligence of which I have 11. So that would... Yeah,
It's
sure.
just a straight roll,
Might as well
basically.
roll,
12.
12 lightning magic.
Yeah.
You kind of picked up on that one.
painful.
Yeah, you don't know how powerful or anything like that.
Bad.
I don't really have anything that will help me in this as well. I will surrender.
So, they get their arms behind your back. They get some manacles, snap the manacles on you. And you basically, the 3 guys, one of whom is looking at you with very hateful eyes, all of glass and blood in his face. And they basically haul you outside of this inn. The captain, who's bringing you with him, is I will need to speak with Gregor. Take him to one of them. Take him to my where I'm staying. We'll lock him up in a cellar or something like that. We'll keep him there temporarily. The fact that he knows that we are who we are, worrying. I don't believe entirely that he's on his own, but I'm not quite sure who sent him either. Take him up to my manor house. We'll deal with him there. And they begin dragging you on the map itself. They take you to this building.
Okay.
You can see it was probably once an old farmhouse. It's kind of now kind of run down and derelict. As you are brought inside, they don't blindfold you, but they do kind of put a gag in your mouth.
Can we see what building they went to?
If you want to follow, yeah, easily.
Yeah, I'm going to follow.
Yeah, easily. They drag you to this building, and you can see that there are a few dwarves with things like manacles, like ball and chain almost kind of thing, that are doing things like cleaning and cooking. They look thoroughly miserable. Mostly it's elderly dwarves or very young, like sort of like young tweens, kind of like, they look, for dwarves they look young, or very elderly, and they're kind of like cooking or cleaning. A few of these guards bark orders at them. They lead you down into probably what was a wine cellar. It's a bit cramped, and they throw you in, and just poof, you hear this trapdoor kind of slam over you.
Okay.
And you hear a clunk, and then you are left in darkness. Your hands are bound behind your back, and you have a gag, and you are left in darkness.
I freak out.
You start screaming.
I am just screaming. Let me out. I will do anything. Anything you want.
Okay.
I
What's
will
the time?
out of here, please.
5 minutes to.
5 minutes too. Sounds like a pretty good place to end today's adventure with Reynard. Just like, let me out. And that's pretty much where we'll end.
Reynard.
Oh, Reynard.
Wah, wah.
Everyone loves Reynard. Perfect. Should we, I think I was talking to the fights, should we run a quick 5-minute break for the old Adaroons and then we'll read donations afterwards? Because we need to try and get it on the hour, I think.
They broke a tooth?
From being punched in the jaw.
Oh no.
You can grow that back with magic.
Yeah, of course. I just like clench
Cool, so
my
yeah, we're going
jaw.
to take a quick 5-minute break for some
can
ads
fix
and we'll be
that.
back for donations
We
in a
will read
second.
donations, so stick around.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Terry Crews would be his dad. If it's Everybody Hates Reynard, Terry Crews played the dad in that. Hello, welcome back.
You're back.
We're going to read some donations now. I'm going to start. Nightjar donated with just a love heart. Thank you very much. Nat Pagel donated. This is my first time watching live, so I thought I would leave a little donation. I tried to tune into Charles Goodbye stream, but couldn't. Anyways, I love the traumatized tiefling, the cutie princess, the twat crisp, and Trelly Belly, and everyone else as well. Ron Rapara donated. I'm missing the first part of the stream, but I'm excited to catch the first special guest. His feet looked cool in the art anyway. I'm so winning that table. Well, I'm glad you're entering it. We got our first hundo!
Thank you so much.
XIX, so that's 15 Dalton 15 in Roman numerals. I meant to donate last weekend to say goodbye to Matt, but I wound up having to work, so I'll just have to donate this week and let word reach him. I'd like to thank you guys for turning me on to D&D. Any advice for finesse blade lock from the best party? Just being a finesse blade lock is advice enough. It's a great class. Thank you very much for your generous donation. Angela Lucius donated. Hey Rollers, I bought the D&D books and some extra goodies last week because you guys have been inspiring me for over a year now to play myself. Still got to gather a couple of people to play with, but I'm very excited for my first game. Thanks, folks.
No worries.
I'll pass this to Kim. Try and read a few, and then we'll make sure that Tom gets to read some.
Lightning Wolf has donated. Hey,
Lightning Wolf.
Just donated because all you guys are great. Tell Matt good luck for me, and tell him also not to lose his voice. Ron Rapara has donated again, going, Tom, you are great at this.
Thank you.
People have been loving the Reynard.
The Monkey Say Shoe has donated. With my birthday next week, I've just binge watched within 2 months, and I'm loving it. Kim and Mark inspired me to do a mini campaign Haunted Mansion, and now DM my own group.
There you go.
Now annoyed I have to wait for episodes. I love Reynard and Miss Trell. Roll on.
Roll on. I have a cool fact. I did post this on Twitter, but I worked it out based on people like just mentioning people binge watching HighRollers. Over 405 years worth of HighRollers has been watched on YouTube
It's
and
insane.
Twitch.
It's a lot, yeah.
It scares
If you
me.
add up all the
Holy
watch
crap.
time, over 400 years.
Are there any characters older than that in?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lady Amarilla.
Lady Amarilla.
She's a dragon who's been around for 1,000 years. Go on.
Where's the next goal?
Oloremv have just donated, but no massage. Thank you very much, Oloremv. Kev Tim Winch. Winch.
Yeah, she should pronounce it Winch.
Okay. Was supposed to run a D&D session myself today, but instead I am sick on the day before my birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
tomorrow. Bright side, I get to catch HighRollers live instead. Currently loving Reynard. This was at 6:42, so before all the really dumb stuff kicked in. No, I kid. Wish to see more of him. Apologies, Mark, for my confusing comment last week.
What? Comment last week?
Apparently. And Tucker2025 is donated with Reynard's bulge is nothing compared to Cam's.
Nina had to make several versions of that drawing.
Yeah.
We will see.
When Cam.
I hope you're really good at rolling natural 20s.
Oh.
Seaharg donated. I just started watching 2 weeks ago and I'm only on episode 28. Hopefully I'll be caught up by next week so I can watch live. Mark, now that Trell is not here, still sad about that. Who are you going to have to knock down every week?
Probably Cam, actually.
Cam's
Cam's been
taking
taking
a lot.
most of the damage
Yeah,
recently.
he's pretty squishy because he pisses people off the most.
Well, and you as well, because you're a
You're
combat
squishy
beast. You often do the most damage, so the monster then goes, "Oh, this annoying monk is."
no, but I'm more mean that he just pisses everyone off
he
just
just
by
pisses
turning
people
up.
off. Yeah.
Tucker2025 again. P.S. For some reason, I can't stop picturing Trot riding mooseback through the snows of Canada naked while pouring maple syrup on himself, and now you are all picturing it as well.
Yeah, I genuinely am. Like when you described
Yeah.
it, I was like, "That's because I can see Harry photoshopping that. That's the
No,
problem."
but I thought Legend
It
of Zelda
doesn't
style. Like,
It just doesn't even faze me anymore. It's been
doesn't.
4 years.
Thing is, I imagine like Link's little cap on him as well, and now
You have a problem.
that game is ruined for me. Thanks.
It's gone, Tucker.
It's gone. It's gone. It's gone.
Ramucci donated, holy shit, I love Reynard and love the way Laura and Juto act around him too. The whole scene with the crocodile was just perfect, right down to the end. Just amazing that Reynard was the one to finish it off. Love.
It was
I
just
know,
like, it was
so
so
well.
I was genuinely a little bit salty about that. 3 hit points. Come on.
No, I think it
He's
was
just like,
perfect.
I think I did a
was
total of what,
perfect.
like 8 damage to it?
Yeah. The best as well is like for me it's the Laura like happy fun, let's get along. Like that was my favourite bit. bit of just like, la la la, stop arguing, because it's such an Elora thing. I love it.
Loud noises.
Loud noises!
That's pretty much what I'm going to do.
La la.
Raporio donated, story of my life, constantly 1 or 2 streams behind, currently on Juto's apology. Please give Matt something stealthy. Anyway, of course, much like with everyone else, you got me into D&D. Love you guys. Use this money to buy an ice cream or something. Ooh, ice cream.
I do like ice cream.
And I shall pass it on so you can read
thank
some
you.
donations.
So what was the last one?
So just
It
go
should be
from
at the top.
Okay.
Click Marcus Red.
The original Stevicus Prime.
What a name.
First time catching the stream live. Love you all. Joined my first D&D group with some friends, and I'm preparing for my first DM running Curse of Strahd.
Curse of
Yes,
Strahd.
it's a good
It's a really good module.
I am taking quite a bit of inspiration from your adventures for the intro. Best of luck and roll on.
You can just clear. So which one was that? This one?
Yeah.
So just do that, and it'll
Nice.
it'll piss off.
High tech.
Katie, in full mum mode.
You can just press this one. Oh, the original Stevicus Prime again with $7
The
a
Elora
tag.
mode.
Also, Mark, I took the idea of Salabalan, a very dapper fourth wall breaking, bemonacled beholder overseer named Mr. Humes.
To be named, to have a beholder named after me is quite the honour. I do love a good beholder.
As long as
You
it's
guys
not
haven't
our
actually
one.
fought a proper beholder yet.
I don't want to.
Bauman
Stop it.
_H.
Good effort.
Well, you can try it yourself if you want.
No.
At that awkward tavern visit, it got really bad. The food on the floor, the crossbows under the table, and the sudden seriousness of the situation. Keep rolling high. Love the show to bits.
I couldn't believe it when you swept all the stuff off the table.
I know.
It was the fact that the reason I did that was like I described like they were eating at the table, and then when you were just like I'm just gonna sweep across the table, I was like cool,
I needed a place for my drink.
and I love it. It was perfect.
Ace of Thorns. It's Reynard's world. Reynard's world. It's party time. It's oh dear. HighRollers answer to Lord Flashheart.
Yes.
And how many just pray for him to faceplant? Oh, so many withering due to glares, making it all worthwhile.
Yes.
They are great. There's quite a few left. Does anyone else want to? Or shall I
Pass them
carry?
around.
We pass it round here.
If we get the donation though, I think
Oh yeah, Tom
should,
has to read that
yeah.
one. Evil Dr. Grannymead. I laughed so much during the crocodile fight. Reynard was hilarious. I do hope he survives the bar fight.
Oh well.
He'll be fine.
Tunath donated. I so
Yes.
want to see the meeting of Reynard and Cam, an
Yeah.
ego fest of epic proportions shall
I think you
ensure.
and me are gonna have
That's
to
gonna happen.
somewhere else.
Easy J donated. Thought I'd do a quick donation before the streams ends. We'll all miss Matt, but I really like the idea of lots of guests. When Trell comes back, I'll switch my name back to Syndicate Has No Willy. So bad.
Great.
There's only 2 more left, so we've not had Mr. Bone has not replied, done one yet, but maybe he will later. We've got another 3 adventures with
Yeah.
Tom to read that out.
He'll get one.
Techie Reed has donated. Hey guys, Juto, please for the love of all that is holy, smack Reynard in the face. Nice to
Wow.
see you, Tom, but stop being so damn unpredictable. Raffle tickets are already in for the table, crumbs and all. That's what
Yeah.
makes him great.
Well,
No, it's good.
I remember. This is so early Cam Buckland as well. It's
maybe
I can't
one
wait.
day. Maybe one day.
Before you got chased by fire spirits.
Yeah. The Monkey Say She donated. Pronounced the Monkey Says Hi, Kim. I also pronounced it Monkey Say She. So the Monkey Says Hi.
Oh, let me read that.
The Monkey Says Hi.
yeah.
Happy to donate more because you guys have provided both happiness and inspiration for so many. Please someone fan art Shark Laura. Also just had British Quidditch Cup this weekend.
Ooh, that sounds
Join
fun.
Quidditch people. It's how can you play Quidditch?
They
They
run
don't
about with-
fly.
No, they have a broom and they run around.
Then it's not Quidditch.
No, but the best part is I think that someone dresses as the snitch. They just put someone in gold and they fucking
run
run.
That's pretty
Someone
funny.
who's really, really fast
That's
is just
pretty
a
funny.
snitch.
Could they just attach it
But
to
it's
like a...
still
great.
not Quidditch because
There
Yeah,
is
no, it's
someone,
great.
there's a team in Bristol because a
Yeah.
fan met us last year and told me about it and gave me the card for his team.
you learn something new every day.
Yeah, a drone with a ball
Yeah,
attached
And then
to
you're
it.
not flying. Oh, for the snitch,
For the
yeah.
snitch. It's
Gold
not-
drone. That's a genius idea.
It's not at all dangerous.
No, but keep the blades on it. Yeah.
Quidditch was a dangerous sport, if I remember correctly
was.
from the film.
People-
Yeah,
people
avoid
got
getting your
hurt.
fingers chopped.
Well, that is pretty much us done. Thank you once again. We will be back next
yeah.
week. I believe that we're not having a week off next week.
No, we're not. We're back.
In fact,
the
I think
same
we've
people.
got the next.
Why would we
I
have
think
next
we're we're good for a while now.
We're
actually.
good.
There's
We're
nobody
good
going
until
away.
insomnia. as
Well,
far
this is
as
it.
I'm aware.
Somebody's away every bloody week at the minute, and I never know where they are.
No. We're good until
We have a
insomnia.
calendar.
I don't remember.
A Yogscast calendar.
We're good until insomnia.
There we go. We're good until insomnia. So we'll be back next week with Mr. Tom Hazel as
you.
Reynard. And then
Thank
the week
you.
after that, Trot will be back as well. And we will see you next time. Take care. Have fun.
you.
Roll on Sunday.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.